कॉन्फिडेंस तो स्टार्टिंग से था। 1v1 अगर आप जाओगे तो मरना ही मरना है।
उनकी याद कितनी आती है? गेस नाम बताऊं? घातक बाबू
स्टार्टिंग से साथ में आए थे यहाँ तक, हक से भाई ये बोलते हैं।
हाँ करो। What's up? कैसे आप सब? स्वागत आप सभी का BGMS सीजन 3 शोडाउन में। मेरा नाम है क्रैड और इस कुर्सी में बैठे हैं जॉनथन गेमिंग। बहुत नखरे हैं, बहुत टंटे हैं, बहुत इनके इतने तरले करने पड़ते हैं ना, इनके रूम के बाहर खड़े रहो, वाटरमेलन जूस लेके आ जाओ सर, इंटरव्यू दे दो। ये क्या तरीका है?
ऐसा है?
नहीं, मजाक कर रहा हूँ, बड़ा क्यूट ही लड़का है। बट एक बार ऐसे इनको कहते हैं ना हैको व्हाट, ऐसे शुरुआत करते हैं ना, तो उसके बाद सवाल बहुत वो से है ना, फिर तू परेशान हो गया ऐसे।
एक साथ बोलेंगे।
कहाँ बीच वाले कैमरे में देखे?
हाँ इसमें 1 2 3
हैको। शर्म न्यारी है। लास्ट टाइम कब आई थी परफॉर्मेंस जो ऐसी बात कर रहा था?
आएगी, स्ट्रेस मत ले यार, तू आराम से।
मैं तो चाहता हूँ तू अच्छा खेले, दिल से चाहता हूँ। तू चाहता है मैं व्रत रखूँ तेरा पहले दिन 19 तारीख को?
हाँ रख।
पागल हो गया, पेट कैसे भरा? चल ठीक है। पहला सवाल, सबने देखा है सीजन 1, आप क्या बोलते हैं उसको, रनर अप, ठीक है? आप MVP भी बने, बड़ी उम्मीदें थी लोगों को ना, एक वो मिला था कि भाई गॉड शायद वापस आ गई है। सीजन 2 आया मास्टर सीरीज का, क्या हुआ था उसमें? अभी तक मुझे कोई जवाब नहीं मिला है, क्या हुआ था सीजन 2 में?
सीजन 2 तो ऐसा हो गया था कि फूड पॉइजनिंग ऐसा कुछ हो गया था, तो मैं एडमिट हो गया था, खेल नहीं पाया था मैं। एंड अभी सीजन 3
में क्या एक्सपेक्ट करें आपसे? आप अभी लाइनअप पे कॉन्फिडेंस है?
कॉन्फिडेंस तो स्टार्टिंग से था, चाहे जो भी लाइनअप है, बट वही ना बोलते कि कुछ चीज़ें चलती नहीं है, बट कोई ना, चलेंगे, घिसेंगे, टाइम आएगा, उठा लेंगे ट्रॉफी। और क्या।
अभी पर्सनली जॉनथन अपने आप पे कितना कॉन्फिडेंस है कि ये जो होता है ना कि जरा 1v1 मैं ले सकता हूँ, जॉनी हूँ मैं भाई, तो क्या वो जॉनी 10 on 10 है या अभी कम हो रहा है?
लाइक अभी कैसा हो गया पता है गेम, अभी 1v1 वाला गेम नहीं हुआ है, अभी प्रॉपर टीम गेम है। लाइक इन शॉर्ट 1v1 अगर आप जाओगे तो मरना ही मरना है, आपको ट्रेड गेम पे ही खेलना है अभी।
अब मुझे याद भी नहीं लास्ट टाइम गॉड लाइक ने ट्रॉफी कब उठाई थी, तुझे याद है? वो आई थिंक लाला वाला लाइनअप था, जब लाला तो जीगॉड और नियो, मतलब यू गाइस यूज्ड टू बैश एवरीवन, वही था। उसके बाद से वो फील नहीं आया क्या तुझे?
नहीं, लाइक इन शॉर्ट भाई, लाइक हमने उतना अच्छा नहीं खेले एज अ टीम, हम वही ट्राई कर रहे हैं, बहुत चीज़ें अगेंस्ट हो रही है, लाइक हो नहीं रही है। सो वही वो एक प्रॉपर लाइक एक मोमेंटम को कैच करने के लिए हम एज अ टीम वही देख रहे हैं।
अभी जब ऑफिशियल से बाहर हुए, मुझे वो कुछ बस 5-10 सेकंड का जवाब दे दे कि मतलब उस लाइक, बिकॉज सब ऑफिशियल के लिए बहुत मेहनत करते हैं और वहां पर ना पहुंच पाना कितना चुभाट तुझे पर्सनली?
यार लाइक बहुत टाइम हो गया कि लाइक मैं भी ऑफिशियल खेला हूँ, लाइक मैं भी जस्ट वेट कर रहा हूँ कि मैं वहां तक पहुंच जाऊँ ताकि लोगों को दिखा दूँ मेरे में क्या है। चीज़ जो हम प्लान कर रहे हैं अगेंस्ट हो रही है, लाइक हो नहीं पा रही है। ऐसे हम भी लाइक जेली, हम सब लाइक बैठ के वही डिस्कस कर रहे हैं कि यार हम तो सब कर रहे हैं बट हो नहीं रही चीज़ें, बट आएगा टाइम, फॉर श्योर आएगा।
बहुत सारे लोग पूछ रहे थे कि जॉनी इज अ बिग नेम इन द मार्केट, इतने सारे नंबर्स हैं तो प्यार करने वाले भी होंगे करोड़ों में, बट थोड़े से लोग होते हैं ना जो मूड खराब कर देते हैं, सुबह शाम कुछ बकवास कर दी, कुछ होते हैं लोग। अब योर नंबर इज टू हाई, तो वो वाले भी लोग आते होंगे अच्छे खासे। उन लोगों के जब तू मैसेज पढ़ता है सुबह उठ के, कभी पढ़ता होगा जैसे, तो उस टाइम पे क्या रीसेट करता है दिमाग में कि इग्नोर करूं या जवाब दे के समझाऊं, क्या करूं?
प्यार करने वाले मुझे बहुत है, एंड लाइक इन शॉर्ट वो लाइक बहुत कम मैटर करता है मुझे पता है कि मेरी फैमिली, मेरे क्लोज्ड वंस, मेरे दोस्त एंड मेरी जस्ट ह्यूज फैमिली, वही मैटर करता है मुझे, एंड कुछ और मैटर नहीं करता।
एक ई स्पोर्ट्स प्लेयर का जो शेड्यूल होता है ना वो टाइट पैक होता है, प्रैक्टिस करो, उसके बाद पर्सनल लाइफ कमिटमेंट्स भी है, कभी कभी डाउन फेज आता है, घर वालों ने गाली दे दी, तूने ध्यान नहीं रखा सेहत का, गेम में गेम खराब जा रहे हैं, ठीक है? तो हाउ यू रीसेट योरसेल्फ, बिकॉज एक बर्डन तो है ऑल टाइम, बिकॉज जस्टिफाई करना जॉनथन को पूरे टाइम, ठीक है ना? तो हाउ यू रीसेट
के लिए तो कुछ नहीं है, लाइक मेरे फैमिली फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दे आर माई बिग मोटिवेटर्स। लाइक वही है जो लाइक हर बार लाइक पंप करते हैं मुझे कि यार कोई ना, अभी 0 के लिए है, मार देगा अगले मैचेस में कुछ, बट चिकन आने ही वाला है, तुम लोग का गॉड लाइक का आने वाला है चिकन। सो वैसे ही मोटिवेट करते हैं, एंड बहुत सारी चीज़ें लाइक गेम को साइड करता हूँ मैं, कार लेकर बाहर चले जाता हूँ कभी कभी एक राइड पर, एंड हल्क मेरा डॉगी, उसके साथ टाइम पास कर लेता हूँ। सो ऐसा एक शॉर्ट लाइक शॉर्ट टाइम में ऐसे ही थोड़ा रीसेट करने के लिए ये सब चीज़ें कर दे रहा था अंशुल।
अब चीज़ों को थोड़ा सा इंटेंस करते हैं, बिकॉज ये सवाल मेरे ख्याल से तूने भी सोचा होगा, बिकॉज तूने जो बनाया उसको लेगेसी बोल सकते हैं हम, ठीक है? और लेगेसी चैलेंज भी होती है। अभी करंट सिनेरियो के अंदर डू यू फील लाइक कि कोई ऐसा प्लेयर मौजूद है जो तेरी लेगेसी को चैलेंज कर सकता है और सरपास कर सकता है? एक आता कोई सा भी?
लाइक वैसे तो बहुत अच्छे प्लेयर्स हैं अभी फिलहाल तो।
देख खेलने की बात नहीं है,
हाँ।
जॉनथन अकेला ई स्पोर्ट्स प्लेयर लेगेसी नहीं है, एक पर्सनालिटी है ब्रो। याद है मतलब जब इवेंट में तुम जाके वो ऐसे बाल भी करते तो आवाम हिल जाती है। तो वो लेगेसी कोई लगता है कि कोई छू पाएगा, सरपास कर पाएगा?
लाइक यहाँ तक पहुँचने के लिए ऐसा नहीं कि मैं कल से ही उठ के डायरेक्ट आ गया यहाँ पे। लाइक मैंने भी बहुत सारे स्ट्रगल्स करे। लाइक जब मेरा बैड फेस जब चलता है, लाइक आपको कोई नहीं पूछेगा इन शॉर्ट आपके बैड फेस में क्या है क्या नहीं, आप खुद हो, खुद को वापस से उठाओगे, वापस से वही लाइन में आने के लिए आपको टाइम लगेगा, बट आपको खुद से ही करना होगा, कोई और आपके लिए नहीं करने वाला है। सो ये सब चीज़ें लाइक खुद से ही मैंने स्ट्रगल वगैरह हैंडल किया हो, लाइक यू नो। सो हाँ, लेकिन वही बोलूँगा।
अभी फाइनल सेगमेंट है, हैंड्स डाउन। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल थैंक यू सो मच, बट जाने से पहले थोड़ा सा और तराजू में लटकाते हैं तुझे। अभी कुछ लोग हैं जो मुझे जानना है कि क्या वो अभी भी आसपास है, उनकी याद कितनी आती है? गेस, नाम बताऊं या तू गेस करना चाहेगा?
कौन?
सबसे पहले अभिजीत अंधारे, है ना, घातक बाबू।
याद
कितनी याद आती है उनकी? आती है? हाल रिसेंटली हाइल हुई थी होती है?
लाइक इतना नहीं हुआ, लाइक उसने भी अभी लाइक यू नो अपना नया स्टार्ट किया है। सो अभी मैं भी थोड़ा लाइक मैं भी स्पोर्ट्स में, वो भी लाइक यू नो टूर्नामेंट्स, तो उतना मिलजुल नहीं होता, बट ऐसे नॉर्मल बात तो होती रहती है इंस्टाग्राम वगैरह पर। तो मिस तो बोल सकते हैं यार, क्योंकि स्टार्टिंग से साथ में आए थे यहाँ तक, तो होता है वो, कभी कभी आती है चीज़ें।
सेकंड लाला।
लाला तो अपना कभी भी मिलता है, अभी भी है, बाजू में ही है, और क्या।
मतलब लाला गॉडलाइक छोड़ के गया है, तुझे थोड़ा ऐसे खटास है कि भाई का साथ
छोड़ के नहीं गया है, पार्ट तो फॉरएवर है, चाहे जो भी हो, सारे लोग पार्ट तो है ही।
और आखिर में शैडो, उसके साथ भी काफी लंबा अरसा बिताया।
शैडो, हाँ शैडो भी यार अभी मिला। लाइक वैसा सबके साथ एकदम बढ़िया है, ऐसा नहीं कि लाइक यू नो सब छोड़ के गए तो सब एकदम खत्म ही हो गया। लाइक अभी भी जो पहले जैसे भाई थे अभी भी भाई है, एंड हक से भाई है बोलते हैं। सो
मुझे ऐसा क्यों लगा कि चीजें छुपाई जा रही है?
नहीं,
ठीक है, नेवर माइंड। चल अब मुझे पता है, थैंक यू सो मच, आया अच्छा लगा और मजा आता है भाइयों से, पुराने यारों से मिलने में। अब वादा कर दे ऑडियंस को कि मास्टर सीरीज सीजन 3 में गीता की कसम नहीं, मास्टर सीरीज की कसम खा के तू अपना बेस्ट शॉट खेलेगा, पूरा टपाटप और हैकर ओवर्ट वाला परफॉर्मेंस आएगा, कसम खा। सीधा रख, सीधा
राइट है,
ढंग से रखना, क्या कर रहा है? हाँ,
सीजन 1 पावर प्लीज वापस से दे दे मुझे, लेट्स गो सीजन 3 बूम।
थैंक यू जॉनथन, ये थे हमारे मिस्टर अमराल साहब। गुड लक ब्रदर। जॉनथन थैंक यू सो मच, और सारे लोग आएंगे, कुर्सियों पे बैठेंगे, बातें करेंगे, ढेर सारा फन करेंगे। आपसे अगले एपिसोड में मिलते हैं, टिल देन कीप गेमिंग।
As the intensity keeps on rising up, we're still witnessing some impeccable performances. For example, yesterday at Raven Esports, AIM got a single man managing to pull off 8 finishes in the game of Miramar, but it was Entity to snatch the chicken dinner away. Welcome to another day of BGMS Season 3, where I'm going to be your host, Tencaster Necro. John alongside with me on the panel will be Shai Shanu once again. And as I mentioned, right, AIM got yesterday pulling off a miraculous performance and just taking all the limelight upon himself.
That was the fun part of it, because again, as much as you would want to praise Entity for getting that chicken dinner, you know those decisions that Raven took were important, because finishes matter more in BGMS. We've been talking about that time after time, and again, this is one of the team that we have seen perform in so many situations. Yes, there was a dip in the performance on a day or two, but that's absolutely fine.
Hey, but speak about the dip, even OG's been on the same storyline, right? OG 1 or 2 days, yes, they played phenomenally well, but then later on, the dip is clearly noticeable. The inconsistency hits the boys once again. Aru, he's quite a phenomenal player. You've also got a man like Averon, who's been in the official lineup too for Team Aru in the past, and this guy was doing really good, but now Team OG in general is just slipping out.
I would agree, because there was AKOP and his nuclear performance with those 9 finishes on one day. And after that, OG have been kept silent for a while, as you perfectly mentioned. But there's not just Orangutan, there's one other team that has not been performing up to the mark. And that was the champions of BGMS Season 2. The entire lineup of Mogo Esports right now, and their inconsistencies. It's just constant denial of the early fights that they do not want to take.
Yeah, that's also been the main concern, right? Now they need to realize they're playing in BGMS. It's not just a normal official tournament anymore. The points table is completely different over here.
Yes.
The play style is completely different. They would need to prioritize the eliminations in the early phase of the game. That's the only time when Mogo Esports can sort of build up that lead in the overall standings. If they fail to do that, then they move in towards the playoffs, and then maybe through the playoffs, they qualify into the grand finals. Because through the playoffs, we know 4 teams will be eliminated, which will be at the bottom.
And you would not have a lot of time to build up your cushion as well, right? You only have a few days for the playoff itself, and the number of games are super limited. So right now you've got the opportunity to try and get into that top 4 as well. But after that, it's going to be basically ruthless for you, because just as how it was during the beginning in the opening week, teams were under pressure and some of them were not able to perform, and that's going to be the same thing for the next one.
I mean, we've seen a clear difference between Robin and Destro's eye gelling. But you know what? For now, let's move on to a short video where Destro is explaining some stuff to us.
जो पॉइंट टेबल में अभी चेंज हुआ है, पहली बात तो मेरा ऐसा मानना नहीं है कि पॉइंट सिस्टम चेंज होने से कुछ फ़र्क पड़ने वाला है. एज लॉन्ग एज जो स्ट्रैटेजी इज़ गुड, आप कंफर्टेबल हो अपनी स्ट्रैटेजी पे. लोगों को लगता है कि वो अर्ली फाइट्स लेके टूर्नामेंट जीत जाएंगे. जीत सकते हैं बिल्कुल, बट अगर जैसे हमारी टीम है, हमें फिर हमारा जो गेम स्टाइल है, हम प्रेफरेंस देते हैं कि पहले हम जोन जाएँ, लेट फाइट्स लें. अगर हमने उसको एग्जीक्यूट कर लिया तो हम ईजिली टूर्नामेंट जीत जाएंगे. रही बात ड्रॉप्स की, तो इतना फ़र्क पड़ता नहीं है. हम लोग पिछले 3-4 साल से मिलिट्री इम्पाला जा रहे हैं, एजिस में है वो ड्रॉप. अब हर ड्रॉप के अपने प्रोज एंड कॉन्स हैं, हमें वो कौन संभालना आते हैं, इतने साल से खेल रहे हैं. तो सैनॉक हम सेंटर जाते हैं, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है सेंटर जाना फ़ायदेमंद है. तो फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता ड्रॉप वगैरह क्या है. आगे जाके कभी लगा कि मिलिट्री में चीज़ें नहीं समझ रही हैं, नहीं बन पा रहा है सीन, ले लेंगे स्कूल पुचिन की कुछ भी सेंटर ड्रॉप लगता है तो जाएंगे, कंटेस्ट करेंगे.
I mean, Destro is speaking about sticking to the main playstyle that his team has been pulling off for years now. But still, he needs to realize it's BGMS Season 3, where you've got rules like power play, impact player, even bounty up in the play. So you need to prioritize the fights. And also, speaking of that entire speech that Destro just pulled off there, one more thing I would like to add on, and is that if you keep on playing with the same strategy over and over again, you're just going to make your team predictable. And that's sort of been the case for Mogo Esports.
That's the most important point I just wanted to mention as well, because if you look at the amount of finishes that almost all these players have, Delta with 18, Justin with 13, yes, understandable, but these two are the only players who are technically, you could say, are performing, right? Shogun with 11, yes, he's also up in the similar charts, but the inconsistency for the team to win the crucial duel has been lingering since the day 1 itself. And that's one of the main reasons why we are always discussing that even though they want to go in for the safe early drop, the value that every single finish has, it just decreases over time. After the power play, you just don't have the exact same value.
And before that video, we're also speaking about how Destro is IGLing the team and how Robin is IGLing the team. There's been a clear impact between the points, right? Robin has been able to achieve more points compared to Destro, but when you talk about the individual performance, that's where Destro sort of outshines Robin. You saw Robin only having 1 single finish in the span of 3 matches. That's quite less. But still, man, it's a team game at the end of the day. If you still manage to accumulate more points as a team, then that's what matters.
The whole scenario regarding Robin IGLing is, it's again almost the same idea, not to take early fights but rather take the late fights. But wherever he positions his teammates in those late engagements is where they kind of find the advantage as well, because out of the 3 games that Robin played, in 2 games, the entire Mogo team was in the top 2. One was a chicken dinner, the second one was a second position. So I guess that was the best day when we saw that leap from Mogo. But apart from that, there just have been constant inconsistencies.
Yeah, that's been the main problem though. Mogo Esports and Destro, even Robin, they need to realize one thing. They've got players like Justin Delta. At a time, these 2 players used to be one of the best players the country's ever seen. And now look at them just playing passive. I feel like that potential is not being utilized to the maximum way.
True.
And I still think Mogo Esports can do much better if they just shift their playstyle to the aggressive side. But then moving on forward towards another team that likes to play it passive, defensive, it's going to be OG. But AKOP in that one single game, he just shattered through all the enemy egos.
And that's one thing, right? Again, one was nuclear performance, indeed, agreed, but that's just not enough to get you into that top 4 itself, because
Exactly.
yes, OG has shown that they're ready and they like to take those early fights as well, but in most of the scenarios we've still seen them constantly going in for their passive play style.
I mean, Aru, Veron, these 2 guys, these guys are in a red-hot form. In the previous official tournament, these 2 guys were on fire. And Aru is the man in charge right now. And still, the team is sort of struggling. The inconsistencies right there. Maybe just testing the waters here and there. But you know what? Let's move on to this video where Aru's got some choice words to say.
तो मास्टर सीरीज जैसा कि सबको पता है कि साल में एक ही बार होता है एंड आई थिंक साल का सबसे मोस्ट हाइप टूर्नामेंट भी BGMS ही होता है, जो कि सब लोग एक्साइटेड होते हैं खेलने के लिए एंड इसका क्वालिफिकेशन भी हार्ड होता है. तो आई थिंक बहुत ही ज़्यादा एक्साइटेड होते हैं सारी टीम्स एंड कंपटीशन तो एकदम टॉप नॉच रहने वाला होता है. प्लस जो फॉर्मेट है BGMS का वो सारी टूर्नामेंट से बिल्कुल ही ज़्यादा अलग है, जो कि इसको बहुत ही ज़्यादा एक्साइटिंग बनाता है, जो मुझे स्पेशली बहुत अच्छा लगता है. तो इसके लिए मैंने अलग से स्पेशल प्रिपरेशन की है अपनी टीम को लेकर के कि इस फॉर्मेट के अंदर हमको कैसे खेलना है एंड उस चीज़ को लेकर के मैं और मेरी पूरी टीम काफ़ी ज़्यादा कॉन्फिडेंट है. तो मज़ा तो बहुत आने वाला है एंड हम लोग रेडी हैं वो जो कर्ज था या फिर 1 पॉइंट से चोक करने वाली जो नोशन है उसको हटाने के लिए.
Aru is such a soft-spoken guy, man. I mean, every single time, whenever I see this man on the camera, I just know that he's going to say something really wholesome, something really nice. And once again, a soft-spoken tone from Aru, saying that he's really glad to be over here, be a part of BGMS. And yeah, makes a lot of sense too, right? Because last time when OG was performing Season 2, just 1 point separating them from being the champions. And now Aru's over here to erase that curse. But there's 2 ways to erase the curse. Either win the championship or not even be close to winning that championship.
With the way how they're going right now, it kind of shows the similar storyline as to what was happening during the BGMS Season 2 itself as well, when OG was struggling in the regular season, but when it came to playoffs, when it came to the finals, this team basically changed the gears. And with seeing AK 27 finishes, Wizjot 14, Aru on 19, I think so this team has got that potential. They've shown time after time how they can be super ready to take all of those fights and take all of those engagements as well. So again, as we mentioned, this team I feel is ready, but at the same time it also seems to be the case where they want to just take things slow.
I mean, imagine, even this team, just like the previous squad of Mogo Esports, they've got so much potential, man.
Yes.
You've got a man like AKOP recently, he's been in red-hot form. You've also got a man like Wizjot, who's been a great assaulter for the team. You've also got Veron, such an incredible potential. And then you've also got Aru himself, who's been feeling himself recently. And as an IGL, he's quite a calm, cool, collected IGL too. So OG, it feels like, yes, the stars are aligned, but for some reason, something's keeping them off. And I think so the only thing that's keeping them off right now is because they're just testing the waters.
Yes, it's probably regarding the coordination as well and completing those 4v4 engagements in the perfect manner. And that is probably one of the reason why I feel that this team would eventually want to play through the playoffs and then move forward into the finals, because we have talked with multiple players, we've talked with multiple teams, and they have mentioned the similar storyline.
Oh, this time the playing force being switched up once again. I think he's not the one to play the first game of the day. Instead, it's Veron. And now it's going to be exciting, right? You've got 3 assaulters ready to be unleashed inside of the Battlegrounds. I guess OG is over here to claim that bounty. You mentioned that too in today's schedule. All 4 teams that hold bounty on top of their head are actually playing in the first game. And I guess OG, they're going to go on a hunt.
I would love that, because yes, we know God's Reign are a team which we call the bounty hunters. At least they attempt it. There are multiple teams who also try to take those early engagements. But if OG go the exact same route, which they went in the first 2 or 3 days back when we remember the entire league week started. They decided to go in for the bounty hunting, if I'm not wrong, back in the school apartments against the members of Team Soul. Yeah, they could not complete it, but it's absolutely fine. At least they tried. So I'm really looking forward for them to do the exact same thing right now.
Yeah, and still, speaking of OG and Mogo Esports themselves, I would say that OG, they've been much better compared to Mogo.
Yes.
For Mogo, they're just struggling to find that form. Yeah, one single game where they win that chicken dinner, but still that's not going to matter, where the other teams are hitting the deck every single game, where they're getting double digits every single game. That consistency is something Mogo Esports is lacking. You move on forward towards OG, 103 total points secured. They're not even close.
And the whole difference that's coming in is because of the fact that OG, they also try to utilize the power play, while Mogo never do that. Every single time, we see Mogo getting active after the stage 3 circle. They're nowhere to be seen near the circle itself when it's about the first 2. And that is one of the main difference maker, because yeah, you saw that as well. There was not a lot of difference between the finishes as well as the position points, just 10-15, 10-15 here and there. But there's still a humongous difference back when we saw in the total points for both of these teams.
So now, once again, here's the concern though. If OG is actually not playing with their main playstyle, and if Mogo Esports is playing with their main playstyle, with their main strategy, and still not able to find any sort of results, then that's a big concern. Because in general, a lot of these teams in the league stage itself are not playing with their main playstyle.
Yes.
And we all know that. And Mogo Esports, I mean, Destro himself mentioned that, yeah, we're going to stick to our main strategy. We do not want to change anything. Some of the teams are going aggressive to try and grant those points, and they're actually grabbing those points in quite a great fashion. But Mogo Esports, instead, they're rooting for that defensive playstyle. There's so many questions popping up in my mind, but maybe they will be answered after this short break.
Wow. Circle to search. Only on Android.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Another day, another road, and we go. Arrive with a win, moving up, we know where to begin. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Arrive we go. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Another day, another road, and we go.
Everywhere I go, dirt and pollution dull my skin.
Garnier Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash. 2x brightening power. With charcoal and vitamin C, deeply cleanses dirt and pollution to fight dullness for instantly bright skin. Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash. Try the #1 men's face wash in India. By Garnier Men.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
Everywhere I go, dirt and pollution dull my skin.
Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash with charcoal and vitamin C. Deeply cleanses dirt and pollution for instantly bright skin. Try the #1 men's face wash in India. Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash by Garnier Men.
What's up, everyone? Come on in.
I got 100 ways that I could make you look. You cannot read me, I ain't no page in a book. But there's 100 ways that I could make you look.
Wow.
Make you look. Wow. Look, make you look.
तहे दिल से आपका स्वागत है टू द एंड्रॉयड अरीना एंड हर स्पोर्ट को एक गेम चेंजिंग ट्रेल ब्लेजर ऑफ अ टूर्नामेंट मिलता है. क्रिकेट को मिला IPL, बास्केटबॉल को मिला NBA, थिंक ऑफ अदर स्पोर्ट्स राइट. फुटबॉल को मिला प्रीमियर लीग एंड वैसे ही BGMI को मिला ये टूर्नामेंट द एंड्रॉयड BGMS. इसका सीजन 3 पावर्ड बाय गार्नियर मेन इज ऑन. वी आर ऑन डे 12. लेकिन क्यों इस स्पोर्ट के लिए ये टूर्नामेंट है गेम चेंजर, ट्रेल ब्लेजर? वेल वो बताएगा मेरा दोस्त, मेरा भाई ओशन शर्मा. गुड टू हैव यू ब्रदर.
थैंक यू सुरेन. एंड जिस तरीके से ये टूर्नामेंट बना है, इतना इम्पैक्ट डालता है, इतनी बाउंटीज आती हैं. सो एवर चेंजिंग डायनेमिक टूर्नामेंट एक ऐसे फॉर्मेट को लेकर के आ चुका है, लास्ट मोमेंट तक पता नहीं चलने वाला है कौन सी टीम कितने फायदे में है, कौन सी टीम कितने पानी में और कितने नुकसान में.
जस्ट लाइक ऑल द अदर स्पोर्ट्स दैट वी मेंशन्ड, हमें लास्ट तक नहीं पता रहता कि कौन सी टीम्स क्वालिफाई करेंगी, कौन सी टीम इवेंचुअली ट्रॉफी उठाएगी. एंड जब हम बात कर रहे हैं इन 11 दिनों की, आई मीन ऑल दीज एडिशंस, पावर प्ले, बाउंटी एंड हाली मुआ, विच इज माय फेवरेट ऑनेस्टली, द इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर रूल, जिसने उस लीडर बोर्ड की तहस नहस कर दी है. कुछ टीम्स जो टॉप पर थी वो जमीन पर हैं एंड कुछ टीम्स जो नीचे थी वो पाताल से आसमान में तारों को छू रही हैं.
इनफैक्ट व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट टीम्स लाइक टीम एक्सपार्क, जिसने अभी एक बहुत बड़ी ट्रॉफी अपने नाम करी, वो टीम हमें ऊपर आती नहीं नजर आ रही है. व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट टीम लाइक वसिस्ता, टीम लाइक एंटिटी, वो टीम टॉप 4 में थी, बट वहां से एक ऐसा ड्रॉप देखने को मिला जिससे वो उभरना चाहेंगे जितना जल्दी हो सके, बट आर दे रेडी? आई मीन क्वेश्चंस बहुत हैं, आंसर्स हमारे सामने नहीं है अभी तक.
लिसन, एवरी डे इज अ राइड हियर इन दिस टूर्नामेंट, क्योंकि कौन जीतने वाला है, किस टीम की आज बाजी होने वाली है, वी डोंट नो. लेकिन एक बात जो मैंने ऑब्जर्व की है, टेक अ लुक एट द लीडर बोर्ड, इवन यू विल रियलाइज दैट. क्या तुमने रियलाइज किया है कि मैं किस पैटर्न की, किस अद्भुत चीज की बात कर रहा हूँ?
जो टीम्स जीत रही हैं वो पॉइंट्स बहुत कमा रही है, ऐसा कुछ?
नॉट दैट.
फिनिशेस अच्छे आ रहे हैं बिकॉज़ ऑफ
नॉट दैट, रॉन्ग वर्ड.
आई विल से यू हेल्प मी आउट.
ओके लिसन, 20 टीम्स जो अभी भी मौजूद हैं इस टूर्नामेंट में, उनमें 6 टीम्स ऐसी हैं जिन्होंने अभी तक किसी भी मैच में चिकन डिनर नहीं निकाला है. उन टीम से मैंने बात ही नहीं की है आफ्टर द मैच एंड्स. और उन 6 टीम्स में से 2 टीम्स ऐसी हैं दैट आर इन द टॉप 10. ओके, फॉरगेट अबाउट दैट, दे आर इन द टॉप 7. नंबर 6 पे एक टीम है जिसका नाम है coveted, एंड नंबर 4 पे एक टीम है जिसका नाम है ग्लोबल ई स्पोर्ट्स, जो ठीक यहाँ हमारे राइट पे बैठे. आई थिंक लेट्स जस्ट गो हैव अ कॉन्वर्सेशन विद देम. गाइस, तुम लोग सुन चुके हो ना, तुम लोग हमारी बातें बहुत ध्यान से सुन रहे थे, राइट? ओके, नहीं सुन रहे थे. देखो, तुम कुछ तो कर रहे हो, यू डूइंग समथिंग एंड क्लियरली यू डूइंग समथिंग अमेजिंग. अब तक एक भी चिकन डिनर नहीं निकाला है एंड येट यू आर ऑन द 4th स्पॉट ऑन द लीडर बोर्ड. यहाँ पे अभी कहा जा सकता है कि तुम फाइनल्स के लिए डायरेक्ट क्वालिफाई कर जाओगे. हाउ आर यू डूइंग इट?
तो अभी तो जैसे हमारे आइजल है आर्कलिन भाई, तो उनका मेन फोकस हमारा चिकन डिनर्स पे है नहीं. अभी हमारी अप्रोच ऐसी है कि जितने फिनिशेस हम निकाल सकते हैं पावर प्ले में एंड बाउंटी टीम्स को जितना मार सकते हैं वो पॉइंट निकाल के, अभी तो बेसिकली हम एक तरह से प्रैक्टिस ही कर रहे हैं और अपना कॉन्फिडेंस जो है वो बूस्ट कर रहे हैं. तो बाकी यही चल रहा है अभी तो.
एंड टॉकिंग अबाउट यू स्पेसिफिकली, आपकी जो टीम रही है सीजन 1 की चैंपियन, ये नाम सीजन 1 का चैंपियंस रहा है, वहाँ से अभी तक जब आप आते हो इस टीम में कुछ सिखाया गया कि भाई ये टीम किस तरीके से खेलती है, ये नाम किस तरीके से खेलता है, लेगेसी को मूव फॉरवर्ड करवाने वाली बात है. सो आर यू प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दैट? क्या आगे भी विदाउट चिकन देखने वाले हैं या फिर कुछ टारगेट्स हो सकते हैं जिनके ऊपर जाकर के चिकन आएंगे?
नहीं, अभी तो फाइनल्स में हम चिकन डिनर्स लेने का ट्राई करेंगे ही, और जो नाम है ग्लोबल ई स्पोर्ट्स वो तो हम एग्रेसिव ही खेलते हैं फिर तो. और बाकी तो ऐसा कोई स्ट्रैटेजी या कुछ प्रेशर तो हम पे है नहीं, अपना बेस्ट देंगे और बाकी देखते क्या होता है.
मेरे षड्यंत्र वाले दिमाग में ना एक सवाल और आ रहा है, और मैं चाहता हूं कि आप सब इनका रिएक्शन देखें जब वो सवाल खत्म होगा. 2 IGL रह चुके हैं, एक आर्कलिन है, इसके पहले मवी है. ये नहीं पूछूंगा किसके अंडर ज़्यादा एंजॉय किया है, बट किसके अंडर टीम ज़्यादा इफेक्टिवली परफॉर्म कर पाई है?
दोनों
पाजी हंसे पाजी जवाब ही नहीं देना चाहते इसका।
आप भी दोगे जवाब?
नहीं।
उसका ऐसा है कि मतलब पाजी का प्ले स्टाइल थोड़ा अलग है और आर्कलिन भाई का प्ले स्टाइल थोड़ा अलग है। पाजी और हम लोग जैसे थोड़ा स्ट्रैटेजिक उस पर खेलते हैं कि इधर पुश करना है तो इधर मारना है, जोन लेके थोड़ा प्रॉपर। बट अभी जैसे हम खेल रहे हैं एकदम प्रेशर फ्री, जो दिख रहा है उसको मारो और जितना मार सकते हो मारो। मारने में ही मेन फोकस है, चिकन गया भाड़ में, कोई टेंशन नहीं।
भाई आई मीन चिकन गया भाड़ में पता नहीं, बट आप पहले 8 बिट का पार्ट थे, 8 बिट अभी नीचे, आप जब से इस टीम में आए ये टीम अच्छी है। डू यू कंसिडर योरसेल्फ एज अ गुड लक एज वेल?
अब ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, मैं उनको क्या ही बोलूँ, अब उनकी भी टीम अच्छा खेल लेगी मेरे हिसाब से, और हम अच्छा कर रहे हैं तो अच्छी बात है, किसी को ऐसा बोलना नहीं चाहिए बुरा।
सब बस अपनी मुंडी हिला रहे हैं भाई। ऑलराइट लिसन बीस, थैंक यू सो मच। आर्कलिन वेरी गुड जॉब ब्रो, दैट वाज ग्लोबल ई स्पोर्ट्स। और अब बुलाते हैं कापे डीएम की तरफ से पुकार को। पुकार बीच में आ जाओ, स्टैंड इन द मिडल। सेम सवाल जो उनसे पूछा था, नो चिकन डिनर येट, लेकिन फिर भी you're only going northwards. तुम एक रॉकेट पे सवार हो and you're there in the top 7. How brother?
टॉप 7 मतलब हमारा टारगेट तो टॉप 4 है, लेकिन हम लोग चीज़ें प्लान करके चल रहे हैं जो वर्क नहीं कर रही है। मतलब जैसे आपने देखा होगा हमारा एक भी चिकन नहीं आया, एक भी बाउंटी हमने कलेक्ट नहीं किया अभी तक। तो हम लोग मतलब फाइट्स के लिए जा रहे हैं, पर जब हम ऐसा हाई स्टेक्स वाली वो होती है जैसे बाउंटी मिलने वाली, वो हार जाते हैं। तो हम लोग मतलब अच्छी रैंक पर चल रहे थे, अभी थोड़ा नीचे आ गए, लेकिन हम लोग अभी चिकन के लिए ट्राई करेंगे और बाउंटीज़ के लिए ट्राई करेंगे।
यू नो पुकार देखिए, आप एक स्काई लाइट्स में भी रहे हैं, आप एक अच्छी एंटिटी भी बन चुके हैं। वहाँ पर सोमराज के अंडर आपको खेलना थोड़ा अलग लगा, अब यहाँ पर खुद अपने डिसीजंस लेने हैं, सब चीज़ करना है। फ्रीडम है उसके बिना, या फिर अभी भी कुछ मिसिंग है जो ऐसा लगता है कि वो ज़्यादा अच्छे तरीके से लेकर के आता था?
नहीं, मैं ऐसा कंसिडर करता हूँ कि जैसे 4 पीपल का गेम है तो सबका एक ओपिनियन होना चाहिए। तो मैं उस हिसाब से आइजलिंग करता हूँ कि चारों तीनों लोग मतलब जो भी है मेरे अलावा, उनका भी एक ओपिनियन कंसिडर किया जाए, तो उस हिसाब से मैं खेलता हूँ। तो उसका एकदम डिफरेंट था, तो जो मैं बिलीव नहीं करता वैसे खेलने में, तो इसलिए मेरे को ये ज़्यादा बेटर लगता है।
पुकार, एवरी टीम, एवरी चैंपियन टीम इज एज गुड एज द वीकेस्ट लिंक। ये हमने कहावत सुनी है, लेकिन आपकी टीम में कोई वीक तो डेफिनेटली नहीं है। लेकिन कुछ जो चेंजेस किए हैं आपने, मैन, उसका जो हमें इफेक्ट देखने को मिल रहा है, जो रिजल्ट देखने को मिल रहे हैं, ठीक है, यू गॉट गमला एंड ही इज़ नोन फॉर हिज हीलिंग एंड हिज सपोर्ट एक्ट, लेकिन भाई इस बार तो वो टॉप फ्रैगर बन चुका है। सो बिफोर द टूर्नामेंट स्टार्टेड, क्या तुमने उन्हें कहा कि हाँ ऐसे खेलना है, आपने इस बार आपका रोल चेंज है, एंड हाउ डिड ही टेक इट?
नहीं, मतलब उसका भी सेम ही है कि वो पैसिव खेलते थे हम लोग पहले, हमारी पूरी कंप्लीट टीम ही पैसिव खेलती थी, तो हीलिंग उसका पार्ट है, सपोर्ट करना उसका पार्ट है। लेकिन अभी हम लोग सिर्फ अग्रेसिव खेलते हैं, तो किल्स तो ऑटोमेटिकली आने ही वाले हैं हर प्लेयर के। अगर खेलना आता है जिसको, वो किल्स तो करेगा ही।
ऑलराइट लिसन, इन 2 टीम्स की हमने बात की, 4 टीम्स ऐसी और भी हैं जिन्होंने अभी तक चिकन डिनर नहीं निकाला है। एंड वन थिंग विच इज़ अ स्पॉइलर, वो पॉइंट्स टेबल एवर मूविंग होने वाला है। हमारे जो कास्टर्स अभी स्टूडियो में बैठे हैं, उनका क्या कहना है वो भी जान लेते हैं।
Yeah, I mean, Entity definitely a major dip in the overall boards, right? At a point, this team was in the top 4, and now they're on the 10th spot. For Carpedium, even they have been removed from the top 4. I think so they're on the 5th spot in the overall standings. So even for Carpedium, it's a bit of a pressure that's building up. And as the Moyan himself mentioned, he's not able to pull off any sort of bounties just yet, and they're not able to get any chicken dinners. But in the future, that's what they're looking forward to.
Let's be brutally honest about the fact that we've seen Carpedium having 109 finish points, and at least 40 of them is because they've constantly been in fights with WSB on their Pochinki drop clash, and every single time it seems that this team comes out on top. So that is one of the main reason why we are still seeing this team in the top 10, and that too without any chicken dinner. But here's this thing. Here's the super fun part. WSB also does a lot of damage to the members of Carpedium, so they never come out unscathed. And that's probably because they can't get those chickens.
It's never a proper flawless squad wipe, right? WSB do tend to take at least one of the men down from the side of Carpedium, and that's where the entire team, they're sort of shaken. But the same thing can be said for WSB too. Something needs to be switched up from them if they do want to keep on going for that drop collision in Pochinki. Maybe they would need to drop somewhere else. Maybe their stance needs to be a little bit different in the fights. Just try and catch the players of Carpedium off guard if you want to be the one to come out on top, because WSB is another team that's been on the same storyline. We saw them perform on one day really good, and then later on WSB's performance was nowhere to be seen. Now they're on the latter half of the board, somewhere at the bottom, and I'm not sure what WSB needs to do to pull that thing back up. But one thing is for sure, considering so many Wrangles are being played, you just need to make sure that you're getting a lot of points on a Wrangle.
It's Erangel has basically become a chocolate for us, right? No matter how many times you have it, you still want more. There's still a craving for more, and that's what we are seeing right now. And again, seeing both the matches on Erangel, there's Group B in one, and then it's Group C. So you already know One Blade, WSB, Reckoning, as well as Godlike. They only have one opportunity today. And since we are on the topic of talking about Godlike itself, right? You touched upon Entity, how their performance has taken a dip. I feel that Godlike, their performance has taken a bit of a rise.
Yeah, hands down. Yesterday, Godlike, they definitely played quite decent, but that's been the main concern for Godlike too. One day they played really good, the other day they're just not able to find any footing, so they need to find that consistent breaching point.
Yes.
And looking forward for a team like Reckoning Esports, which has already done a lot of damage to the lobby. Now Reckoning Esports can just sit back and chill. Yeah, just try to get those constant 10-15 points here and there. And Reckoning Esports, for them, it should still be all good in the hood. They should still be in the top 4 whatsoever. And just to let you guys know, all these players are playing on Samsung Galaxy S24 for an ultra smooth experience. With that being said, now it's time for us to toss to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Another day, another road, and we go. Arrive with a win, moving up, we know where to begin. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Arrive we go. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Another day, another road, and we go.
What's the worst that could happen? What's the best that could happen? Philips One Blade. Move fearlessly. Innovation and you. Philips.
Red Bull gives you wings.
そんな場所だ。全部壊してみっか。俺は塔のてっぺんに登るんだ。ਆਪਣਾ ਵੀ ਦੱਸ ਦੀ ਉਹ ਕੁੜੀ ਸੱਚੀ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਕਿੰਨੀ
Wow.
ਨਾ ਵੀ ਦੱਸ ਦੀ ਉਹ ਕੁੜੀ ਸੱਚੀ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਜਗਦੀ ਰਕਾਨ ਚੰਨ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਜਿੰਨੀ
Circle to search. Only on Android.
Time to test the waters. Tell me how you wanna live. Now you hear me roll like raw. In my beastly mode now. Wow. Wicked unleashed. That's wicked. All the cuts and the curves. So wicked. Take what you deserve. It's wicked.
TVS Raider. Unleash your wicked.
Everywhere I go, dirt and pollution dull my skin.
Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash. 2x brightening power. With charcoal and vitamin C, deeply cleanses dirt and pollution to fight dullness for instantly bright skin. Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash. Try the #1 men's face wash in India. By Garnier Men.
To live your life the way you want. Compete like the toughest challenger. Dance like there's no tomorrow. Celebrate every second you are alive. Life has no rule books, but we can give you
Whoa, or should we say super wicked? The beastly headlights and the Black Panther iconic mask screams power. Feel like Super Warrior with TVS Raider Super Squad Black Panther Edition.
Absolutely wicked if you talk to me about it. I really like the Iron Man edition though, because I know you're a big fan of Black Panther, but I really like that red shade, the additional red that's already on towards those sides, right? This bike performs really well. But there's another team that have got a bit of a red arms, right? But they have been struggling a little bit, and I'm talking about the sides of 8-Bit.
8-Bit? I mean, it's not just a struggle, it's a complete downfall at this point, right? 8-Bit, they're being treated as the free points on the map, and something needs to be done. They've been getting hunted down over and over again, and 8-Bit needs to retaliate back as soon as possible, because Team Tamilas, they're proven out to be the alphas in that fight.
Absolutely. It's just like the similar story where Carpedium are trying to feed upon WSB, Team Tamilas are just feeding upon the members of 8-Bit. It's just like you can be a big shark out there, but I am just a big dinosaur down in the water. But hey, there's a fun thing, you know, it's a birthday of Scout today, so a big happy birthday to the man himself.
I mean, hopefully that's going to give him that birthday buff, right, where Team Z just performs out of their minds. Or if it's going to be the complete other way, then that's going to be a bit of a concern for his birthday. But moving towards the hunting pack, we've got Godsreen on the screen. And for Godsreen, it's all going good, just the way they want. The players are really good when it comes to the firepower. And that's what BGMS Season 3 supports. All the rules that are being introduced in this tournament, it helps the players of Godsreen to perform really well. But another team that was supposed to be the powerhouse, which is WSB, they're still not able to find their form.
And it's just not WSB only, because again, we see this team constantly dropping in Pochinki, taking that early fight against the members of Carpedium, but it's also the sides of Team X-Park, right, who sometimes have a bit of problem, but even after that, even if they drop in Yasnaya Polyana, they try to win up sometimes the fight, or maybe if they're changing their drop locations, they do not really end up being on the positive end of the spectrum. They always find themselves getting trapped, and they're just not able to win those duels. That's the whole part of it. It's kind of similar to as to what Mogo normally does, right? But again, we've got Group B, Group C is not here, so no Soul, no Forever, no Vashishta, no Carpedium.
Yeah, I mean, those 4 teams are not going to be playing in here, but still, you've got those 4 teams playing, which have got their bounty on top of their head. As we move into the first game of the day, the plane flap hat starts all the way from Georgia Pool towards down south Nora Pnoy. And this plane flap hat's quite nice, unless if you want to move in towards Kameshki, then it will be a tough stretch. But for Godlike, they're probably going to drop in towards a pit stop and then move towards their location, but that pit stop might just prove really deadly.
Last time they dropped in on a pit stop, I still remember it did not go well.
CG dropping towards Georgia Pool. It's quite an interesting exit because CG likes to move in towards Godka, but this time they haven't dropped over there. Maybe looking for to target someone. I'm not sure what the game plan is for them. Godlike moving towards Zarki. Team Forever usually likes to go over there, but considering Team Forever is not playing in here, so Godlike are going to move up north. For 8-Bit, I'm not sure what the game plan's going to be because they have been hunted down over and over again by Team Tamilas. Something needs to be switched up here.
And as you mentioned, something needs to be switched up. It seems like Carnival Gaming is the team that has decided to switch up. Yeah, it's a bounty hunt. It's almost 100%. I feel that it could potentially be a bounty hunt in the Georgia Pool City itself. They want to take these early fights. They're finally utilizing the firepower of Goblin that they've got. Goblin, Neo, Hector. I think so this team is they can potentially win, but we'll have to see how it eventually turns out.
The Giants are finally awake and realizing what their power lies. And now they want to utilize that power in the right manner. Trying to take the advantage of the power play and the bounty system itself. But considering it's not a team with the bounty, it's just one blade. Still, it will be 8 points to be converted if they do get a flawless squad wipe. That's really important. And that means if it is a flawless one, then it's just going to keep on counting even further. For one blade, they've been struggling way too much. Even for one blade, this fight matters way too much, man. First game of the day, if they do manage to set the tempo perfectly enough, then for one blade, it's all good in the hood for the rest of the day, right? If you do start things off on a good note, probably it's going to end on a good note. And for Godsreen, off the rip in a fight against the foes, this fight's not panning out that well, but instead it's the players of Team X-Park, a team that's supposed to be a powerhouse, but recently they've been lost.
They're trying to find their own way as well. And through the midst of the Dark Forest, and SprayGod was able to take down one player from Godsreen, but it just seems like they're not going in for a full-fledged slam. Just taking a stop in towards the house in front of them. Want to make sure that Godsreen do not have enough loot for this entire fight. But I don't think so. Even Team X-Park have a good amount of loot. And if this engagement goes in for longer than 2 minutes, you know there's going to be a big third party, and it could be by Global Esports, could also be by either One Blade, Carnival Gaming. There's also Entity close by in Rozhok.
X-Park is not going to go for that fight. The only reason why they stopped over there is because they wanted to spawn a vehicle. As soon as they got the forward door, they instantly take an exit from that vicinity.
True.
They did not want to go for the early game fight. Instead, probably focus on the placement points, or maybe try and get some better loot in their arsenal, and then maybe challenge a head-on-head fight against some of the big dogs. But CG and One Blade, that drop collision came through, but CG is still not able to find any sort of conversion yet. And keep this thing in mind, CG's been fighting One Blade even in Picado on the map of Miramar.
That's the whole point about it. Sometimes they win those engagements, sometimes they do not. Most of the times in Picado it is CG to come out on top, but quite recently it has been One Blade who've shown a bit of a dominance. Again, since there's no Carpedium in the lobby, so WSB can apparently enjoy the loot in Pochinki. Down south of them are going to be the members of Raven. This entire circle is actually over towards the south.
Hold on to that thought. 8-Bit is moving against the players of Team Tumulus. They're pushing up close and personal. This time it's the players of 8-Bit to take a fight against Team Tumulus. I guess they're finally done with playing back. Instead, they want to be the one to aggress on forward this time.
Yes, so.
They don't want to stay back anymore, and I like that. A change in the pace, that's definitely going to catch the players off guard. And for Team Tumulus, it will be a big surprise package. But how it unfolds, it's up to the playstyle completely. Godscreen, the players out in the open, they're completely discombobulated. They do not know exactly where they want to go. It's a big question mark in their minds.
True. You were mentioning about the members of 8-Bit trying to force the fight, but it seems like Team Tamilas are the ones who are on the run right now. They do not want to take this engagement whatsoever. And so, they're just trying to make a run for it. Is that an Aston Martin or a Bentley? I guess so, it's an Aston Martin. No.
Yeah.
Never mind. It seems like a Bentley. Yeah, the logo is Bentley. I don't know if that's pronunciation correct or not. Does not matter because there's another big engagement that's already happening right now. And I was talking about Team Entity, and it seems like they've tasted the blood against the members of X-Park.
Of course, it's the players' propensity to rain down that spark. And with the bullets, they're not able to do any sort of damage just yet against the foes. Team X-Park, they move away harms-free. But what's going on with the players of Godsreen? That's still the real question. For Entity Gaming, all the 4 players done with loot, now they're on the hunt. And for Entity, this is something that they need as well. A change of the pace. And that's what they're trying to grab. Team X-Park, all the 4 players in one single vehicle. It's like a surprise package waiting to be delivered to the opponent. It can go either ways.
Yes.
If you do find the advantage, then yeah, in the fights, all the 4 players ejecting out at the same time, it's going to seem like the best teamwork. But if you get sprayed down in midway, then that's where you're screwed. And usually that's what happens. Teams do tend to get sprayed down.
I mean, because there's 4 rifles firing your way, right? It's only so much that your vehicle can eventually tank. But as we've been talking about this team, now going all the way over north of shooting range, I don't even know if they're going to find a good amount of loot out there. It's probably going to be just a few scraps with a couple of level 1 helmets, level 2 vests, max to max. Maybe some things level 3 if they're lucky enough. But I don't think so that would be enough to probably prolong any kind of
interesting
engagement.
So here's the weird part. CG, they dropped in towards Georgia Pool, and then now they're moving towards the northern side of Georgia Pool, towards the apartments. Maybe they're looking to hunt down a team towards Zarki, catch them in mid-rotation. If CG's done with their loot comfortably,
maybe
that can definitely be the main game plan. They're probably setting up a trap towards that bridge side, and they can catch the players of Godlike. This can be a great trapping setup. But then even for Team X-Park, now they're moving up against the players of Global Esports, and this will be the worst fight they can go for.
Because Global Esports are already looking at the form, and we have had Beast talking about they don't really want chicken dinner. They just want to take those fights. They just want to boost their confidence. And fun fact, X-Park is in 1 vehicle.
Yeah, but it's also bounty on top of the players of Global Esports. If X-Park does manage to wipe out Global in this power play system itself, then everything falls apart, and Slug is already the casualty. This is exactly what I was about to mention. Slug is isolated from the team. X-Park, they isolate the duel in a perfect fashion. Slug taken down. Now Global Esports, they will be in a really massive, confused situation. And that's what's happening with them. All the 4 players, they were there in Severny, but then 1 man's taken down now. Global Esports is down to a 3-man squad. The bounty's still up for grabs.
And it's already in the first circle, so you already know it's a 2-pointer that you've scored. They can also try and force that engagement, but if the teams are reading the finished feed, you know that Godlike would also try to jump in almost at the same part to try and go in for the third party. because I can see them moving towards the same direction. Right now, just a bit northwest of shooting range are also looking in the same direction. There's also Entity down south in Rozhok who would want to try and capitalize on that.
Hey, if you remember, Global Esports have faced the same sort of scenario in the past too,
Yes,
right?
against God's Reign.
God's Reign, Carpedium came as well. So yeah, that was a whole nother story that we're talking about. But for now, Raven Esports, they do spot at the pledge. Fate pit damage is being dished out already. Hanzo is low, fine. It's not that big of a concern just yet. Raven Esports with the major advantage inside of the fight. Shutting down the foes like they do not mean anything in this fight. They've already taken down major chunk of 8-bit, and now it's just down to that one last man, and I'm not sure how much can he pull off before 8-bit. They're always lost in this territory.
Mighty, the last man standing, will have to see his might, and for how long will he be able to stand on those foots. And it's again the same start for 8-bit. Not a good one.
Isn't this weird? I mean, so many teams actually want to take advantage of the power play system that they're not dropping in their main drop locations, and the teams that want to hunt, they're dropping in opponents' main drop locations, but they're just not able to find that collision anymore.
Whoa.
But hold on to that thought. One blade. A nice breakdown against the Gods. A team that's supposed to be the hunters, now they're getting hunted. And for God's Reign, it's not working out that well. Out in the open, taking quite a full rotation. Yeah, they're taking too much damage upon themselves. One blade. They're trying their best to do something. Now it's time to confirm the fallen players, and they do so. In the power play, they're getting decent points underneath their belt, but God's Reign, they need to hit back right here, right now. It's one blade up against them, so they can still win the fight.
It's a bounty team, and if it's going to prolong, then you know Entity, Carnival, both of them are also going to jump in to try and go for the third party. One blade, they need to quickly get in, finish off the players, get out. Be the ninjas, be the assassins that you really want to be. Up close and personal fight of Fury against Sarkar.
It's a Bison up close and personal. Nade being tossed inside too. Fury smokes himself out. DBS pulled out. No shot connected just yet. But a nade from Phantom. It catches his own teammate and the opponent too. Now Phantom is all by himself, isolated. And within a moment, he will be taken down too. God's Reign, they don't tend to stand a lot of chance in this fight. But Phantom is still in this one single house, keeping his position and note. Eventually gets spotted, and one play, they have hunted down the bounty. They've got an extra 10 points.
And during that entire engagement, the fun fact was, Carnival Entity both wanted to jump in for the third party, and they both started to clash against each other because they spotted each other. And that's a big, big blow as well to the members of Entity. They've lost right in.
For one blade, this is the best possible outcome. This team wasn't doing too good in the overall standings, but now they've managed to acquire 18 points. This could not have been any better for one blade.
111 now already. So that's a perfect beginning, as you've mentioned. And I really want to see how they're going to transition it, because this could be a very big game for them. There's still one more team out there that has got a bounty over its head. Team Tamilas, as well as there's Reckoning Esports. Reckoning, they're up north, trying to chase down the members of Global Esports as well, who are going in for their big rotation through Mansion. But how they're going to survive or not, that's going to be a big, big question. It seems like a scene of Malabar Weekly out there. WSB right now firing a few shots, have already lost on Shikari.
You've only got 30 seconds for the power play to close, so try and take as much advantage as possible, and that's what Team Tamilas is trying to do. WSB as well, sort of on the receiving end of things, considering Sakati Jod was completely taken down. One of the man is way too low as well. Team Tamilas starting things out for the advantage in this duel. Mr. IGL and the man, they do seem quite in tandem. If they do push the same way, then definitely Trigger will be in a world of hurt. But Godzi is right there in the back lines. And now the push comes to shove. Mr. IGL pushes up close and personal, takes down the first man. But Godfrey's still in the back lines, dishing out some decent damage. He's still there behind the tree. Mr. IGL knows exactly where the foe is too. And Godfrey, for some reason, he did not go for that peek. Now he moves out in the open, switches on forward to the M4.
Lovely.
And it's going to be Mr. IGL to put that nail in the coffin. WSB, they have been eliminated yet once again.
And it just seems that they haven't yet really got comfortable in these 4v4 engagements as well. Only have got 4 points, and that too thanks to the power play. That they've been awarded something extra, and not even the bounty now, because it's unclaimable. Team Tamila is losing 2 of their members, and unfortunately for One Blade, they took the fight against the Goliaths, and Carnival Gaming were the ones to come out on top in that one. So have been taken down, finished off, picked apart. And it's Entity who also want to jump in, but wait a second, Godlike.
Yeah, caught in the rotation, as I mentioned. No matter how much late you try to take that rotate, Godlike still getting stuck in a pickle. Entity with a three-man squad, constantly peppering shots against Godlike. That's so much pressure that the players can't handle. CG, they did manage to take out the players of One Blade, but already the damage is dealt. One Blade, they managed to acquire 18 points in that one single squad wipe, so I guess they're still going to be having happy faces on the board. Before CG, I'm not sure if they took down the players of One Blade in the power play system.
I kind of agree to your point because, again, One Blade, they just want a little bit of a consistency and then one big game, one humongous game.
Yeah.
Which there is a big possibility of happening too.
I mean, the best part is One Blade was just playing one game today.
Yes.
And they already got the momentum underneath their belts, so it's all good.
True. They can go back home happy. But another team that really needs a bit of momentum for themselves is definitely going to be Godlike.
Now, defending champions, they might just spring back to life, considering the zone shifted down south towards military base, and that's where Mogo Esports, it's their home turf.
There's Raven on the other side, though, who would want to take that cross. And if you want me to put some bets out there, I would definitely say I think so Raven should be the one to come out on top. Even though they might be in some disadvantage, unless it's a third party from some other team trying to pincer them from the backlines, I think so Raven should win that. But
did you notice what Godlike is trying to do? They're sitting in a boat, and they're going to go for a boatation all the way down south from Georgiapol. It will be such a long route. Hopefully they've got enough gas canisters.
That's the exact point I wanted to mention as well, because they need a few extra gas cans to fill up that boat so that they can make that full rotation. But yes, they'll avoid majority of the fight, and I'm not quite sure if you would really want to avoid those fights or not. But since the power play is over, I think so you could say that. Right now the main route for most of these teams would be just those couple of bridges. One of them is being camped by Mogo, the other one by Team Z. And most of the teams would try to take that botation all the way down south of the farm area. So I think so it's a good idea, but again, is it viable though?
I mean, Mogo Esports is camping the Fairpier Bridge. Team Z is camping the right side, which is the Milta Bridge. So where can you move from?
Water.
Yeah, the only way is going to be the waterways. I mean, Godlike, they do have their hands on the boat, but Jonathan is moving all the way in the back. I'm not sure what he's trying to do. You can see up north, Jonathan is going towards his drop location, which was Zarki. And I'm not sure what the game plan is, moving all the way back there. Let's just hope that Godlike's going to be coming out with the best possible outcome here, because both the bridges are being camped hardcore. Nova Repnoy being camped by Team Z, and Fairpier Bridge being camped by the defending champions themselves. And there's also two teams on the stack. We've got Raven and Entity right behind each other.
That's the important area and the important part that you're watching. You know, I just feel that for the next couple of zones, we would probably see that Fairpier Bridge in action itself. I think so the zone is still going to stick there.
Even Nova Repnoy Bridge is going to be in action. Look at Reckoning Esports and Team X-Park.
Close by.
Both the aggressive teams right behind each other, right? X-Park struggling to find the momentum. They're definitely going to be thirsty for the fights. They need that confidence booster. If they do take down even one player, that's going to be such a big uplifter when it comes to the confidence. So Team X-Park, they will try to latch up on anything they can at this point. Yeah, it's a bit of a problem facing off against a team like Reckoning Esports, where Hunters is constantly peppering them down. It's a constant pressure on top of their heads. But for Team X-Park, it's something that they've faced time and time in the past, and they can still come out on top from that duel.
That is true. Spray God right now in front of the Manhunters himself, and there's a bounty to be claimed as well, so X-Park.
I'm not sure how good of a maneuver this is from Hunters. He moves out from that house. If he does manage to catch Shadow 7 right here, then it's a really good move. There's another man quite up close, which is Viper, his own teammate. He can also be the main table turner, but gravity shot from the far fray. Even he can dish out the damage against Team X-Park. The way I look at it is that Team X-Park are in a bit of a disadvantage in this fight, considering they're also surrounded from the outskirts. X-Park is now in a big trap. They cannot get out of this compound. The only way they can get out of this compound is by emptying it. But how can they do so when Reckoning Esports is playing all their cards right?
There's Viper, though, who can potentially be caught. That's one thing. They can also systematically dismantle the members of Reckoning one after the other, because they're not in a position to give those revivals. That's one way you can try, but again, with the position that you mentioned for Reckoning, they can go for some instant trades, and Shadow has been knocked out. So X-Park, this was not the start they were looking for.
Exactly what I'm talking about, right? X-Park, they're just completely trapped. They're set inside of a trap, and now they're not able to get out. X-Park in a big world of trouble. Molotov's constantly tossed in. Ninja John, this man's gonna burn to his death. There's no way he can stand a chance. And he gets taken down. Reckoning Esports to come out on top in this fight. It's such a flawless execution. And as I mentioned, Team X-Park, they set their foot in a big trap.
This was so beautiful by Reckoning.
Yeah.
As you mentioned. Oh my god, look at the circle shift. Look at the circle shift. I mentioned to you about the fact that I think so Ferrypier Bridge might be in action. It seems like that's going to be the case. We might see another couple of zones forming onto that, and probably half of that will still cover the bridge. Which one? That's a big question.
Look at 8-bit, 0 points.
Yeah, I mean, Mighty could not have done anything in that situation either ways. But one fun fact is, Godlike have still not decided to go in for their rotations.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the game plan is for the boys. They're still towards Georgia Pool. They haven't even moved an inch.
Oh my god.
I guess they're waiting it out for as long as possible, tanking the zone damage for as long as possible. But what is the outcome of that? How are they going to make it inside of the safe zone, considering the zone's now panned out towards the bridge area? They can't go for the late game rotation with the vehicles itself. They can't sort of barely inch in towards the safe zone. But the zone's going to keep on taking curveball shifts, and if it does shift down south, then Godlike is screwed once again.
There's only one thing that they can do is, again, take those waterways all the way from the western part and then move just a bit on the northwest of this military base island, where you can find a small entry. But that's just being too presumptuous and thinking that there would be no other team being there. That's a big problem. You can't take a direct entry. That's like 100% confirmed. On one of the bridge, it's Reckoning, Revenant, Team Z is the one that's stopping all the people. On the other bridge, it's just a cluster. It's a rainbow.
Yeah, I mean, look at CG. They're controlling such a big chunk. Yeah, there's OG right next to him. Aru can be caught. I do not have a good feeling about this fight. Aru up against Neo and another boy from CG. Hector's right there around the corner. For Hector, Entity needs to be dealt with. Revenue Esports now up against the players of Reckoning Esports, but Team Z is going to be on the opposite side, constantly camping that bridge so they cannot even cross on forward. Yeah. I mean, you might as well try to create an alliance at this point, right? Just to try and rotate down south, because Team Z will be constantly peppering shots against you. But Revenue Esports instead, they're the one trying to be the alphas, right? Take control of the zone and the bridge. But the zone's not in their hands just yet, considering they need to rotate. If they do take control off the southern part of this map, then maybe something can happen. But even Global Esports from the backlines is starting to close on up. But the fight with the players of CG and the players of OG begins now. AKOP gets strike down. Equal trades on the board for now. But CG then reply back even stronger. Neo finds the second man. It's Wishshot in the back lines. And Wishshot, if he does some decent damage, then maybe something can happen. But you blink it and you miss it. OG already out of this game.
At the beginning, I really thought that since AK found that opening, OG would be the ones who would come out on top. But
yeah,
Carnival
trades,
Gaming,
man.
Exactly. Those instant trades were absolutely sublime. And with that, now they're also trying to take shots against the members of Entity. Neo with an amazing spray almost caught the man out in the vehicle itself. But will eventually now move. And here's the fun part. The entire circle shifting down south as you predicted, as you mentioned. This is basically a chicken dinner for Mogo itself, being given to them, served on a silver platter. But they haven't yet got a single elimination. So I mean, yeah, I don't think so it would be that valuable. But look at the Novo Bridge.
Mogo Esports, they need to wake up, man. Honestly, they need to start going for the fights. Yeah, it's understandable. You're getting that chicken dinner in the hands, but something needs to be done. You need to start racking up those elimination points, too. Team Z up against the foes in the front. Reckoning Esports, they're taking a decent bit of damage upon themselves. How did Revenue Esports cross on forward? That's my real question. Revenue Esports, Sif and the boys are already towards that zone, while Sensei's still in the back lines, and now it's probably going to be the big pinch for Reckoning.
Exactly.
From the back, it's Sensei moving in. In the front, it's the players of Team Z just looking forward to funnel those points in their court. Yeah, I mean, it does seem like the stars are being aligned right now.
The timing is going to be crucial for this one because Team Z have to go in for their own
Scout.
rotations too. He's just way too far in the open. If Reckoning see him, it's basically done for.
I don't have a good feeling about this. He
No
can
one
be
does.
sprayed down eventually. Man's out in the open, but Reckoning Esports, they've got no view on Team Z for now. Even because of the smoke, there's no visuals just yet, but Team Z, they've already taken hefty damage from that zone.
Okay.
And look at this. Underneath the bridge, there's one team sneaking towards the finishing line. Can they make it on the opposite side? That's the question. I mean, just look at the cluster of teams over that bridge. So many teams right there. Team Timilas, Godlike looking to breach in. You've got CG right there, Raven Esports, Entity, Global Esports around the corner. There's way too many teams, and yeah, it is going to be a panic moment. Just send it. That's the best thing you can try to hope at this point. Raven Esports at the top. They've got the advantage in the fight, but Beast, if he does land this nade, then maybe things can be switched up. Beast needs to go for the fight. He cannot keep on delaying the inevitable for too long. And look at Reaper. Spots out the man. A beautiful switch to the weapon. And he strikes down another foe. Another man is still there inside of the house. And Beast eventually gets the finish too. Hanzo taken down. Now it's Reaper up against the player Beast. Can he come out on top? Raven Esports, they've always been the damage dealers, but they're going up against Global Esports, a team that's currently in the top 4, and a lot of the cards are working out perfectly for them, but a nade from Reaper, it doesn't just knock the opponent, it also knocks out his teammate, but it's completely fine as long as you come out on top in that duel.
Arcelin now the man who took a big leap on that vehicle all the way down under the bridge. It's going to be super difficult for him. And in the meantime, Godlike, they're just driving like it's Fast and Furious, and they're the Dominic Toretto family. Trying to make that cross in the midst of it all. I don't know how good of a decision it's going to be, but again, all the teams would now need to do the exact same thing, as every single one will have to move because the blue is hitting and it's going to hit very hard.
Oh, these guys are so screwed. Arcelin is taking damage even from up above from Hulk. And he's also taking damage from the blue. Eventually the zone stops, so you can easily cross on forward towards the safety line. But the safety line is filled with a lot of foes, so it's not so safe after all. Meanwhile, even Team Tamilas is taking constant damage, not just from the blue, even from the foes! What a shot that was, Admino! Striking down Reaper, but it's completely fine. AimGod's got things under control. Admino's taking down the confirmation. Will be there for Godlike on the foe. Before Raven Esports, they've got the man advantage. Godlike is in a big wall of trouble. AimGod is taking too much damage upon himself. Goblin almost gets the knockout too. Carnival Gaming, does Goblin know there's one man of Team Timilas in the back lines, and he can be the snake that can hiss him soon?
Probably become the Viper or the Python, but again, Mogo just making sure that they're getting the confirmation on Entity who were under the bridge. All the smokes does not matter, the spray is there and it's perfect. Admino has been traded for Reaper, so Raven just down to last 2 members now, and Godlike, I am not liking this position. They're just surviving thanks to the smokes, but Z God in the meantime finds an opening onto the member of his power. Team Z as well fighting on Carnival Gaming.
I mean, if you're Godlike, you better just send it, man. And that's the best thing
Step on
Godlike
gas.
can try to do. Yeah, pedal to the metal. Because from the back, it's Raven. From the front, it's the players of CG and Mogo. You've also got Team Z now stepping in the fray. So it's better to just move inside of the zone, try and find yourself a better spot. But first, they would need a scout out from here, the position that they've got. Accumulate the information as much as possible. Raven Esports is constantly taking heavy fire against themselves. Jonathan's got too much to try and hold off. He's got too much on his plate, but this nade! Oh, it's so perfect! AimGod, he saw his death approaching him. Jonathan, as he gets the man fall down, he's also going to go for the finishing blow. He gets the confirmation. And now as the confirmation is achieved, Jonathan should back away instantly.
There's another player, Hulk, right now on the other side. The question is, can he get the vision? He absolutely can.
Jonathan.
Oh my goodness.
Knocked out. Godlike now taking down quite bad numbers in the game. They do not have a lot of manpower to try and hold themselves. But Reckoning Esports up against Mogo. This will be a game-changing fight. If Mogo Esports takes a lot of damage, the chicken dinner will be stolen away from them. All the patience showed for nothing. Reckoning Esports, this one single man can't be the major table turner. The nade was tossed into perfection. Another man hits the deck. Now it's all down to Justin. He's taking too much damage. Could be taken down as well. Mogo Esports, they barely survive at the skin of their teeth.
But as long as they survive, there's a big possibility for them because now there's no competition remaining. The only squad who've got all four standing right now, and no one's trying to pounce upon them. Godlike have completed their hold down against the members of Raven, so they can move down, but they're down to just 2 players. It's only Team Z who've got 3 of them. And again, you can give the advantage in the hands of Mogo because they've got the highest of the high grounds.
Oh, now it's Mogo Esports' game hands down. If the team does get that survival point in their hand, if the team does manage to get the reset, then they will be the one to conquer the field. Yeah, for Team Z, it's quite an easy cake to wipe out CG out in the open because CG's got nowhere to go. Team Z's controlling the entire tempo on this side of the hill, but they should still try to be a little bit more alpha and control a bit more land here, and that's why they're tossing the smoke so they can get some more visual on the foes in the front. On the opposite side, it's going to be the players of Mogo Esports constantly peppering down some shots against Team Z. Now it's the patience game. Team Z needs to wait for Mogo Esports to leave that comfort zone and move inside of the circle. When they leave that comfort zone, that's when Team Z will strike, but still Godlike can be the breaking point here.
That's the whole argument about that. If Godlike fires a few shots onto Team Z, that's a chicken for Mogo. If the other thing happens, then that should be a chicken for Team Z. I think so Godlike are the pivotal factor into this fight, but at the same time now, as you mentioned, Mogo, they're on the move, but I guess the Team Z, they've kind of missed the mark as well because now they're firing a few shots, but again, all of those smokes, those entire walls, it has given a good amount of cover for the members of Mogo.
Mogo Esports is way too exposed. That's Justin finds Sayed. That's not good for Team Z, even through the smoke. Robin is able to find Addy. What a crucial knockout that was. And now Godlike too around the fray. For Godlike, this should be an easy finishing blow to be handed out to Team Z. Last man is going to be Dux right there in the front before Mogo Esports. They've got the man advantage. A beautiful nade from Punk it was, but it also knocks out his own teammate. As Robin will get the confirmation soon. Godlike now down to just 1 man up against the 3 players of Mogo Esports. And for Punk, this is going to be impossible. 3 men of Mogo, they've showcased too much patience to grab this chicken dinner. They do not have a lot of points in return, but still these 10 points can mean a lot for them with an additional elimination that points that they managed to acquire in the game. But for Godlike, it's been a journey filled with thick and thins. It's been a journey filled with a lot of spikes, and they're still somehow in this final zone. They were all the way toward Georgia Pool till such the late game, and still Godlike, they pulled off quite a miraculous rotation down south. But in the end, it's Mogo Esports, a chicken dinner being served on silver platter. Shogun was benched this time.
Exactly, it was Robin and Destro, both of them in the lineup itself. I wanted to point out early on, but again, it was amazing play coming in. Circle forming on them, seems like the gods of BGMI helped them.
They wiped out the entirety of Reckoning Esports, and Reckoning Esports had the bounty on top of their head. Additional 10 points for Mogo. This was a nuclear performance somehow. We never saw this coming. Now, this is what you call a complete surprise. So let's just move on to the stage for a short interview.
भाई डिफेंडिंग चैंपियंस ने अपना दूसरा चिकन डिनर निकाला है एंड यू बिकम द 4th टीम. वो सब छोड़ो, सबसे ज़्यादा जो खबर बन रही है ना वो ये है कि डेस्ट्रो और रॉबिन दोनों आज साथ में खेल रहे हैं. क्या हो गया भाई?
नहीं हमारा एक प्लेयर अभी थोड़ा उसकी तबीयत ख़राब थी और ऐसा था कि हमें केमिन डेज जीने थे अपने पुराने एज अ टीम. उस टाइम भी खेले थे तो भरोसा था कि अच्छा ही खेलेंगे, साथ में खेलेंगे तो वही.
ओके, 1 सेकंड, ये जो बात बोली है रॉबिन, जब डेस्ट्रो नहीं था यू वर द IGL, ठीक है, जब तुम्हें पता है कि तुम दोनों एज ए यूनिट इतने स्ट्रांग हो और तुम दोनों जब खेलते हो, हमने देख लिया नतीजा क्या निकला है. Why don't you both play in the playing four usually?
नहीं, मेन अभी जिस हिसाब से पॉइंट टेबल चल रहा है और जिस हिसाब से टीम में फायर पावर की नीड रहती है, तो इसलिए हमारे साथ शोगन है और वही प्लेइंग फोर में खेलता है, तो ये रीज़न है उसके पीछे.
चलिए मैं दूसरे के पास वापस जाता हूँ. IGLing कौन कर रहा है अभी?
मिक्स ही है साथ में चल रहा है, इजी है उसके लिए भी मेरे लिए भी. डिसीजन मेकिंग ऐसा है कि मेरी कॉल आती है तो वो साथ में आ जाता है, उसकी आती है तो हम साथ में आ जाते हैं, और इन दोनों के लिए भी ईजी है अभी.
डेस्ट्रो, पिछले हफ्ते हमारी बात हुई थी, कुछ मैचेस थे, यू वर सिटिंग आउट, और जब भी मैं तुमसे बात करता था यू सेड कि भाई आगे देख लेंगे क्योंकि अभी उतना प्रेशर नहीं है. एक बहुत फाइन लाइन होती है बिटवीन बीइंग कॉन्फिडेंट एंड ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट. आई थिंक तुम वो लकीर हो बिकॉज यू आर वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट. ब्रो, अब आने वाले जो मैचेस हैं उसमें क्या प्रतिक्रिया है, क्या स्ट्रैटेजी होगी? बिकॉज आर यू लुकिंग एट मे बी मूविंग अप, सीधा फाइनल्स के लिए क्वालिफाई करना, या तुम्हें पता है कि नहीं हम चाहते हैं कि ये मौके चैलेंजेस जो है आते रहें?
नहीं, मैंने लास्ट वीक भी आपको बताया था कि वीक 1 वाज मोर अबाउट एक्सपेरिमेंटिंग फ्रॉम आवर एंड. हमने देख लिया क्या चीज़ें वर्क नहीं कर रही है हमारे लिए. वीक 2 हम अपना बेस्ट ही दे रहे हैं. कल स्टार्ट हुआ था, कल मैच अच्छा नहीं गया था, बट हमारा माइंडसेट क्लियर है इस वीक को लेकर, हमें अपना बेस्ट ही देना है. एंड टॉप 4 आए नहीं आए वो तो बात की बात है, अपना बेस्ट देंगे. रिजल्ट फिर जो भी है।
Destro, you're one of the most honest guys that I know. मेरे को पता है कि तू भाई बिल्कुल सच्ची बोल देगा. As we speak, जो तुम्हारा गेम चल रहा है अभी, on a scale of 1 to 10, अपने आप को जिस पोजीशन पे तुम हो, हाँ चिकन डिनर निकाला है, how many points do you want to give?
अगर आउट ऑफ 10 इफ आई हैव टू रेट माई सेल्फ, आई थिंक अभी हम एज अ टीम 7 या 6 पे है। मिस्टेक्स कर रहे हैं बट वही फाइनल्स तक हम उसको 9-10 तक ले आएंगे मेहनत करके।
6 या 7 अभी भी there is a lot of room for improvement और ये खुद डेस्ट्रो कह रहे हैं. What a win for Mogo Esports, the defending champions. अभी के लिए एक छोटा सा ब्रेक. We'll be right back.
2023 थी दावत, 2024 में होगी बगावत। Mogo Esports is here to stay.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Another day, another road, and we go. Arrive with a win, moving up, we know where to begin. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Arrive we go. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Another day, another road, and we go.
Shave it, shave it, shave it, shave it, shave it, shave it, shave it.
What's the worst that could happen? What's the best that could happen?
Philips One Blade. Move fearlessly. Innovation and you. Philips.
Red Bull gives you wings.
そんな場所だ。全部壊してみっか。俺は塔のてっぺんに登るんだ。
Time to test the waters. Tell me how you wanna leave. Now you hear me roll like roar in my beastly mode. Now, wow. Wicked unleashed. That's wicked. All the cuts and the curves. So wicked. Take what you deserve. It's wicked.
TBS Raider. Unleash your wicked.
Everywhere I go, dirt and pollution dull my skin.
Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash. 2x brightening power. With charcoal and vitamin C, deeply cleanses dirt and pollution to fight dullness for instantly bright skin. Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash. Try the #1 men's face wash in India. By Garnier Men.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Celebrate every second.
We saw two bounties being hunted down in that one single game. At the start, it was One Blade hunting down Godsreen. Then later on, it was Mogo Esports taking down the players of Reckoning Esports. But Mogo could have been wiped out themselves while claiming that bounty because it was way too close. But before we move on to the post-game segment and look at the stats, we've got a little bit of an announcement to make, and that's going to be regarding Crunchyroll. It is the largest India's anime library with over 800 plus shows, and you can watch those shows in your preferred language. And not just that, you can watch those shows only for 79 rupees per person.
per month, and that's exactly what we love, right? If you're as good of an anime geek like me and just like this little android, you would really want to watch all of those animes. But since we've been talking about some things that are really, really good, let's just talk about the fact how Mogo actually got that amazing chicken, and might as well have a look at the MVP of the game.
I mean, amazing chicken, yes, understandable, but let's be honest, it was served to them on a silver platter. The entire zone was right on top of the players of Mogo Esports. They were like the zone magnets for that entire game. But the only thing that was really the standout is that 2 bounties were claimed, and Mogo was playing with Destro and Robin both. I guess Shogun is struggling with some health issues, as Destro mentioned. That's why Shogun's not going to be playing today's day, maybe tomorrow as well. But I really want to see this playing forward play a bit more and see how or what sort of results we can witness more in the future.
Indeed.
I mean, the stars of the match, Neo is also going to be there as going all out and best companion for CG.
That's the whole point I really wanted to mention as well, because yes, we did see the entire chicken dinner being served to Mogo on a silver platter, because every single circle was right on top of them. They did not have any problem. All the teams down south had to rotate it from the other side where Team Z was there. So they were kind of being protected from their back as well as from the front where they had the vision. But on the other side, a team that really switched their gears was Carnival Gaming, changing their drop location, trying to hunt teams early on, and then even after that, finding those finishes.
And not just that, how can you forget that miraculous rotation from Godlike, right? They were outside of the zone for such a long time. We were concerned for their even survival in that game, but still somehow they made it to the final few moments. They were also in the top 2 of that entire game, so that's just super impressive. But just a 2-man squad, we knew that Godlike don't stand a chance against the entire firing squad of Mogo Esports, but still, man, getting those extra bit of placement points, they also had a decent bit of elimination points. That really matters. OG facing off against CG. Even this was quite a crucial breaking point of the match, but it was OG to take an exit from that entire fight, considering CG was coming up with some incredible traits.
Yeah, their trading potential was good, and the way how they just dealt with the members of OG, absolutely perfect, using the terrain to their most advantageous point. But
this nade.
Exactly, the nade prior to this one, I really wanted to see the highlight for that one. But that was a perfect 3-pointer by Jonathan. Seems like he's been playing basketball a little bit. But after that, Mogo wiping out Reckoning as well. And as you rightly mentioned, claiming the second bounty in this game. Not by Mogo, but in the entire game itself. Mogo claiming that bounty is going to give them additional 10 points. And also, basically, this confirmed them getting that chicken dinner.
I mean, just like the way Mogo Esports was able to save a lot of those efforts when it comes to claiming the points, just by wiping out one single bounty team, they got 10 additional points with the 4 points that they acquired. But then later on, they also got 10 more points for winning the entire game and some additional finishes here and there. For Mogo Esports, it was indeed a nuclear performance. But for some of the teams that were waiting to perform, to pop off, they were still not able to do so. X-Spark still all the way down in the slumbers. I'm not sure what's going to help them to be back in the race, because at this point, even One Blade is slowly and steadily making that comeback. Match rankings in front of us, 29 points secured from Mogo Esports. Yes, they did claim that bounty. While you look at the latter half of the board, CG with 18 points, One Blade with 18 points. With just that one single bounty hunt, they got so many points.
That's the whole important factor we wanted to consider, because they just took one fight early on, they won that, and after that they were finished off too. So that bounty was important. But again, looking down the leaderboard, there's let's just say 2 of those teams which we really talked about early on in the pre-show segment. That was Entity as well as Orangutan, and we are still seeing them there.
Hey, all of that is fine. Maybe these players should tap on the enemy skulls to try and save a lot of effort. But you speak about tap, you can also tap and pay with your Android device, and that's going to save you a lot of effort to go through all the other apps that are there on the phone. But moving forward with the conversation, right?
Yes.
Now that we know first game is being claimed by the defending champions, they had slow and steady comeback with the snail pace, 29 points. It was quite an incredible performance. But you move on forward now, considering we know Group E is also going to be there, or another group's going to be stepping in. So expectations from you, what will be there?
Again, it's going to be Vashista, Forever, Soul, and Carpedium would be stepping things in, and WSB Reckoning, Godlike, One Blade exiting out. So, I think so. The gameplay and the style for most of these teams should potentially remain the same. 8-bit up against Team Tamilas is what we'll probably see. But I really want to look at Carpedium now, because there would be no WSB in Pochinki. So that means no early 8 points, but at the same time, no extra member loss.
All of that is fine. My eyes are also going to be pinned on Vasista Esports. They've been dethroned for a while. Now they're going to be super jealous, because the top 4 is constantly shuffling. And maybe Vasista Esports too, just with the flow. Even they want to shuffle themselves in that top 4.
I guess this is their time for claiming those bounties and trying to hunt those bounties, right? Because again, seeing Raven also in the same group is going to be important as to where they really want to drop this time around. I want to see other teams as well taking on to that aggressive note and Just do what One Blade basically did in the previous one. Hunt a bounty team, get the early eliminations in the power play itself, get those 18 points, and get the heck out of that map.
IQ Soul, even they need to perform. For Team Forever, it's been the inconsistent streak. That's what I meant to say. For Team Forever, I'm not sure what's going to be their saving grace. Sometimes they play really good. Sometimes they're just not there on the board at all. But one thing is for sure, if they keep on moving fearlessly, just like our Philips One played, then things can be better for them in the overall standings. For IQ Soul, yeah, they're doing decent considering Manya is back. Yeah, a little bit of switch here and there. A little bit of tweaks are going on with the playstyle. But I'm pretty sure once they do find that proper constant playing point, they're going to rise up to the sky. For now, it's time for us to toss to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Wow. Circle to search. Only on Android.
Another day, another road, and we go. A ride with a win, moving up, we know where to begin. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. On a ride we go. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Another day, another road, and we go.
Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it.
What's the worst that could happen? What's the best that could happen?
Philips One Blade. Move fearlessly. Innovation and you. Philips.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Time to test the waters. Tell me how you wanna leave. Now you hear me roll like raw in my beastly mode. Now, wow. Wicked unleashed. That's wicked. All the cuts and the curves. So wicked. Take what you deserve. It's wicked.
TVS Raider. Unleash your wicked.
Everywhere I go, dirt and pollution dull my skin.
Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash. 2x brightening power. With charcoal and vitamin C, deeply cleanses dirt and pollution to fight dullness for instantly bright skin. Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash. Try the #1 men's face wash in India. By Garnier Men.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Moments away from stepping inside of the last game of the day, but while we get onto the game, don't forget that Google Play Days are live on Google Play Store. Get your hands on the latest BGMI deals.
You really do not want to miss out on those amazing deals. Get that extra UC in your account and buy your favorite skin. I really love that Bentley car skin as well, so I think I'm gonna ease up on my wallet a little bit and probably send out some cash there. But some teams that really need some hope, some chakra from all of their friends out there are definitely playing in this one, specifically 8-bit, Team X-Park.
Yeah.
They need some support, man.
They definitely do need that support, but for teams like Mogo Esports, once again, stepping inside of the playing field, so that's going to be really good, right? First game into the pocket, now Mogo Esports move on forward to the second game of the day where they've got the momentum to play with. That's really important.
There's one thing I still really wanted to talk about the previous game itself, is that, again, the chicken was technically served to Mogo in a silver platter. They played good, don't get me wrong. They made sure that Reckoning were finished off, they claimed the bounty, but even after all of that, it's like they were just defending their ground, right? Whenever it comes to breaching the enemy defenses, that's where I think so Mogo faces a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I mean, Mogo Esports, they're definitely facing that blowback in the 4-on-4 fights, right? They're not coming out on top in a flawless manner. Even against Reckoning Esports, when they took that fight, almost on the verge of getting taken down, knocked out, even though Mogo Esports was the one to have the advantage in that entire duel. So I'm not sure what exactly is going on there, but Mogo Esports, they need to start practicing their firepower a bit more before the grand finals, because a lot of these teams are focusing on that thing exactly. Godsrini is doing the same thing, Entity's doing the same thing, and Samraj always likes to mention this, right? I mean, we have seen the comparison between Miramar and Erangel of Entity. Clearly, Miramar's been miles better compared to Entity, compared to Erangel, but still, man, Entity, now it's time to step things up on Erangel, maybe try and go aggressive off the rip, considering there will be a few bounty teams playing in here too. And here we go. Last game of the day begins now. As it boots up on the screen, the plane's gonna hit the skies once again. Starting all the way from Milta Power to Primorx, and this plane flat path is heavily down south. If the teams want to move up north, they will be screwed massively.
I remember last time Global Esports decided to take a pit stop around Gatka area. Carnival Gaming welcomed them and they chased them till 70 to try and take those points away. I really want to see if that's going to be the case this time around. And as soon as I say that, Global Esports is like one of the first few teams to take the exit from the plane itself. Probably want to take the vehicle somewhere around that prison or Lipovka area too. But again, as you mentioned, it's heavily tilted down south. Seems like Team Forever would probably want to drop around Ferry Pier.
I mean, on the map, we can clearly see Global Esports off the rip. They've taken an exit. We're definitely going to see a lot of those pit stop collisions, right? Two of the teams thinking the same way, dropping on the same compound, considering they're way too far away from their home grounds. And maybe Global Esports and Entity, they're going to clash against each other. They're way too close. Entity Equinox is a little bit far away. Godsreen 2 moving up north. You've got Team X Bar, considering they're way too far away from Yasuna Poliana. This time they decide to reroute towards Fair Pier, and maybe they're going to go up against 8-Bit. This will be an interesting fight to witness.
As you mentioned, it's going to be interesting because there's going to be a bit of a cluster down south of that entire query area, right? You've also got Team X Bar who are dropping there, but again, Team Forever seems like they're changing their route a little bit down south of Pochinki, but hold on a second. Seems like there's a drop collision already happening where Team Z, they seem to have lost a player for them. Wait a second, are we seeing Carnival Gaming against them?
I mean, CG, they're trying to pull off all sorts of shenanigans, right? And CG's power's knocked out for now. CG, things aren't working out the way they wanted to, considering Dutch has got his hands on the Uzi and is dishing out a lot of that damage. The man's a shredder at this point.
Oh my god.
Grinding through the opponent. A pistol in the hand, and Dux is still looking to find a clear line of sight on the foe right there. Team Z, the player closes on up. Neo is still alive with all the HP, and eventually the man gets knocked out with just a pistol. Still, Neo is not being found. Neo is challenging them with just a pistol, and this is embarrassing for Team Z. Two of the players taken down single-handedly. Neo is outruling every single player that stands against him. This pistol is dishing out way too much damage. A 1v3 from Neo with just a pistol. Oh, Team Z, this couldn't be any more embarrassing. They need to do something. Stop this embarrassment coming through. One last man is all the way in the back. CG, they've done too much damage against Team Z. And now Side OP crosses on forward. Neo will try to get the confirmations. He gets the first one. The damage is already dealt. Neo, this man is going to have evil smirks on the faces, while Team Z in a big shamble. They can't do anything. Shotgun retrieved in the head too. It's M416, my bad. But yeah, now the man's got a perfect combination to fight off against the last man too. He does not have the meds, but he's got his hands on the shotgun. He's bandaging himself constantly. He's got every single advantage that's needed to be there. He's got the mental edge over the opponent too. Vector in the hands of the man, and he's constantly pre-firing around the corner. Shotgun's there too to play off, and Neo is now just playing within the corner. All it takes is one single shot from this S12K, and the last man from Team Z will be strike down, but still, he's just delaying the inevitable. Someone needs to get knocked out,
God.
and Team Z, they have been 1v4'd by Neo. This is the most insane clutch I've witnessed so far in my casting career. What have I just witnessed? Neo, oh my god, he embarrasses Team Z in front of thousands of viewers.
Bow down to the king. The MVP of previous game. He still decided to go on and continue his wrath with the pistol. 3 players with a pistol. That is mind-boggling stuff coming in. And the maneuver towards the end to constantly dodge the bullets. It was a mental game. And Neo, those crazy crispy headshots worked out tremendously well.
Oh my god, Neo. The shots to the dome to start off the fight, and the opponents are not able to keep up with that. They're challenging him one after one, and that was the main problem. They did not go for a proper push against the man. Every single player should have played together. And yeah, Neo, I mean, he's indeed the Neo from Matrix.
Seems to be that way, man. Seems to be that way. The entire team was Trinity, supporting him with the intel, but the way he played and the way he moved, as clean as Arum driving his vehicle.
I mean, it's Scout's birthday, and that's not a gift Scout wanted to receive, right?
No, obviously not. But all right, now in the open areas, now in the open grounds is where we're seeing Orangutan take some fights against God's Reign, who are on their own rotation. Entity as well, facing so many struggles, already down to their last member. So the inconsistency continues. And if I'm not wrong, half of those engagements were probably on that query area. We also saw Vashishta Esports losing their member in that exact same spot. A lot of these teams, they've already had that early member loss. There are only a few who are still standing and who've got some points.
Team X Park now up against Carpadium. Another interesting battle breaking out. Carpadium, they've already managed to strike down 2 of the players, while Team X Park, they're doing a great job retaliating, at least for now. But eventually, even Sarang gets shut down. That's not a good news for Team X Park, considering now they're just taken down to this one last man, Ninja Jod. Everything is now going to be on this one man's shoulder, while Carpadium, they've got the man advantage in the fight. It's a 2-on-1 for now. Ninja Jod, he will definitely try to isolate the duels, but Carpadium is one of those teams that is quite smart. They're not going to let that happen. Never in God's way they're going to let that happen. Utilities are being tossed to perfection. They want to go for the confirmation, the finishing blow on Sarang, but Sarang is still there. Pukar moves out in the open, but it's completely fine. It's a bait and switch.
Max will be able to take him down as well. Did not realize that Max was on that angle, so he moved a little bit towards the left, and that gave Max the vision that he needed. Team X Park this time again falling down short, but at least they've got 6 points. Managed to get 3 eliminations out in the power play itself. You've still got a lot of time and a lot of teams, but not a lot of bounties to claim. Only Raven and Team Tamila's bounty is available. For Global Esports, they've lost a member to different teams. For God's Reign itself, I really want to have a check if in case it's Orangutan who finished off 2 of the players, or is it going to be someone else? Because we were, again, too busy with the fights that were happening, but Pukar, again, getting caught out in the open. Being welcomed by the member of Team Forever, so it's down to just Max. And he's going into the clutches of Manya, and Soul do not want to be left out from this party.
Oh, the fangs are now open, just waiting to catch someone, right? Some prey, some flesh. Max Payne's low, the last man gets dropped down. I feel so bad for Max. He's going up against a firing squad like Aiku Soul all by himself. Carpadium down and dusted outside of the game, but Carpadium already did a decent bit of damage to the lobby, considering they managed to take down 4 players, right? So that's 8 points to start things off. Or maybe just 6.
But here's another team that can try and take those 8 points, and that's going to be Aiku Soul. Because they're on a chase against the members of Team Forever. And Forever in those 4v4 battles, they've looked a bit shaky out there, specifically against such an experienced lineup. They're trying to set a defensive lineup, but again, it's going to be the members of Aiku Soul having the advantage.
Indeed. Team Forever. Omega's knocked out for now, and even Ash hits the deck. It's not good. Aiku Soul. Once again, they spring back to life. Ronnie's doing a lot of damage. The man is there on the mission. Another man from Team Forever. He clashes on forward. Oasis now there up close and personal, and he knows exactly where to toss the nade. Ronnie, his position's compromised, but there we go. The cavalry arrives, and now Knuckle has fallen his way too low. Ronnie eventually strikes down another player in the front, and that's it for Aiku Soul. They collide against the Mammoth, and they lose that duel.
Team Forever, it seems like we were talking a lot about this team not having that consistency, but finishing off a team like Aiku Soul with losing just 1 member is definitely going to give them a lot of confidence. I think so they're going to wish if all of that happened back during the Impact Player Weekend. This might have been such a phenomenal start. Wait a second. I guess we're not going to talk about that. But it's absolutely fine because again, it's Team Forever now being chased by the members of Team Tamilas. They want to try and take all of these players down as Team Forever. They're already one player knocked. Was there? I think so. He's been given the revive, but Ninju still trying to drive left, right, and center. Will eventually move out of the vehicle only to fall to his death.
Yeah, the man gets ran over. It's done. Team Tamilas, they have dished out decent bit of damage. Here we go. Team Forever 2 losing out on 2 players, but they've gotten 10 points off the rip, right? So I would still take it. Team Forever already on double digits on the board. Looking fine in this game. I mean, 5 points when it comes to the elimination. You add on the power play, you get extra 1 point for each elimination, so that's 10.
True.
So yeah, Team Forever, I mean, they've done their job, right? Mafia is still alive inside of the game, so 10 points in one single game, I still take that as a W.
Would not deny that whatsoever. It's still pretty decent. At least that's something, right? You're not getting eliminated right off the board by a pistol. So, better something than nothing. Team Tamilas right now in the vicinity of another team. And it's going to be Vashishta Esports. A good chance for Vashishta to try and claim the bounty, but they are losing one member already. So they've got to be careful out there. Straight out, being coming in. Secret will be able to dodge that for now at least, but the chase still continues.
Team Tamilas, all the players on their way. There's another man of Team X Park right there. Vashishta Esports constantly firing. There's too many teams around this vicinity, and now it's starting to get me anxious. Team Tamilas is in a bit of a pickle here, and Vashishta Esports too. They might just be third party soon. They do have the advantage inside of the duel for now, as Vixky has got the DBS pulled out, but they've taken shots way too far away. Eventually the distance is being closed out, and it's Maxi to land those crucial bullets when it matters the most. That's it for Vashishta Esports.
A big disappointment coming in yet again. Vashishta Esports losing those duels. 6 points is all they managed to grab. WizJord being fired upon. A lot of those shots coming in from the side of Raven itself. And you do not want to fight with this team. Trust me when I say this. Raven have been immaculate. They've also got the bounty on top of their head as they get the confirmation onto WizJord. So Orangutan will have to make a run for it.
OG. I mean, considering Veron is there in the playing four, I still sort of feel that semblance that, yeah, he's there. Still, the pack is there. The man packs a lot of punch. You can never rule out Veron in duels. Haru, Veron, AKOP, 3 of the men standing tall. OG, yeah, taking down a 3-man squad, but still it matters which 3 players are still playing in the game, right? You've got Team Tamilas on the left lines. In the front, it's Team Forever's Mafia, which was the only standing player. And now I've also got Raven Esports slowly and steadily stepping in the playing field. Are we going to see another Brit Circle, but this time towards Norup, Noi?
I think so, not this time. I guess it's going to end up somewhere towards Farm and Wilta. And that could eventually be the best for the side of Revenant. And that's what I feel. Maybe that's going to happen, maybe not. Totally depends. We'll go all the way down south, though. The question is where they're going to take their rotation from. I don't think so they're going to go from the Milta bridge, because you know, since Revenant is in the lobby, they always like to camp around the bridge, and you do not want to go for a camped bridge rotation. Maybe. So again, that same long area. There's 8-bit Mac still remaining, still alive. Can probably be a bit of a spoiler out there, but again, only 9 teams remaining, only 24 players, and finally the power play, since it's over. Now we'll see things slow down.
Listen, the game's going on fine, but I'm still not able to recover from that one single clutch from Neo, man. I mean, he gave an unforgettable gift to Team Z on this day. Yeah,
Happy
I mean,
birthday.
it's a gift. Yeah, it's a gift. They're never going to forget.
Happy birthday, Pew Pew. Just the pistol.
I mean, he was connecting the shots perfectly, man. He was connecting them right on the dome. I mean, you just got to feel bad for Team Z at that point. When you've got shots just connecting to your dome, you can't even fight back properly, right? 2 bullets and you're done for. You can't do a lot there. But yeah, I mean, heroics from Neo. Incredible, man. Absolutely incredible. And look at this, Mafia in enemy territory. OG is just driving around him, and they've got no clue that there's a foe. There's a snake lingering around this area. OG just completely unaware of that fact. They haven't cleared out the area just yet, but eventually they do decide to move away, I guess.
And it's also Team Forever, the team that they tried to take shots against. Mafia and the man remaining. The only person who's still alive after that engagement against Taiku's soul. And then a bit of a chase down. And as you mentioned, since these compounds are not cleared, he can definitely be a big spoiler for the other side. And if somehow he manages to get 2, this very well could be another clutch that we might see in this one. Though nothing's going to top that Neo clutch though, I'm going to agree.
Yeah, definitely the main limelight of this game, right? It's going to overshadow every other thing that happens. OG is clearing out compound by compound. Interesting. They're clearing out building by building. The man spotted. What a pre-fire that was, Veron. Oh my god, as if he knew exactly who was there. But I'm pretty sure it's just the way they like to clear the angles, right? First, they like to clear the nukes and crannies, the corners first, and then they would want everything else.
What gave it away is the big question, I guess.
So here's the thing, right? When you're way too far away from a compound, the buildings don't render, but the player does.
Ooh.
So that's what probably happened. When you're way too far away from a particular compound, it doesn't load properly.
Something to utilize. Probably
Sometimes.
what they did. Sometimes.
Definitely.
True.
Just gave an insider.
But hey, what are the chances that we might actually see Raven or Team Tamilas trying to claim the bounty off of each other? What if? I think something like that could happen. Because Global Esports down to just 1 member, God's Reign down to last 2 members. The bounty is probably unclaimable. Revenant Esports is the only other team that I personally feel can eventually stand a chance in this one. Mogo, yeah, there are 4 players. But let's be brutally honest. When they were the ones who were defending, that was the time when they were able to capitalize on that and get the chicken dinner. When you've got a breach, is always where I feel they find a big problem. OG, yes, you can say, since Veron is there, maybe it's going to help them out a bit. But with the form that Raven is going in, with the confidence that they've been carrying from yesterday, I think so they're on a roll and a run.
Hands down, they're on a roll. I mean, Revenant Esports. For now, let's focus on them, right? For Revenant, yeah, they've had a few glorious days here and there, but then later on, it's the inconsistency hitting the boys once again, and Revenant Esports isn't playing too aggressive in the map. I'm not sure why. I mean, they've got a man like Blaze, Flock, Sensei's been on fire recently. But if you look at the lineup overall, it's quite a tactical lineup, right?
Yes.
Sensei's the ideal. Seth has always been one of those players that does not like to play aggressive. Flock, yes, he's the assaulter, he's the aggressive player, but he also likes to play in tandem with the team. And then you've got Blaze, the best supporter this country's seen. So in general, Revenant Esports, it's quite a slow, methodical, and a tactical lineup. Sometimes it also does quite good when it comes to the firefights. Nothing taken away from that.
But it's those always early engagements and drop collisions that I really want to see this team take. They do try to find some teams, but it just seems like they're not looking at the right place, or maybe not at the right time for Dimension coming into play. But right now, this could be a game where they can try and claim one bounty as well, right? We've also seen teams claim the bounty over towards the stage 4 circle. In the previous one, we saw Mogo do that against Reckoning. Oh, shots being fired now on the members of Team Tamilas who are rotating already, and it's Orangutan who are now down in action. Bante has been taken down, and so is Mr. IGL with AK. An insane play from that shotgun.
Yeah, AKOP's way too low now. Wizjod, yes, considering he was confirmed a while ago, so now OG, they're facing off against Team Tamilas with just a 3-man squad. AKOP, Veron in the back lines. As long as these 2 great players are alive, still Team Tamilas' winning chance are way too low. They're minimal. But Team Tamilas, they just ruled out a firing squad like Vasista Esports a while ago, so even you cannot take out the players of Team Tamilas just like that.
Lovely.
But what a shot that was, Aru. Good opening. As the man's taken down, Team Tamilas Fox OP is now slowly and steadily starting to make that push. DBS in the hand, but yeah, it's got too many players to deal with. I mean, Aru, that was indeed an apening, right? Considering the apes.
I was just about to mention that. What happens when an orangutan player catches an opening on the other player? That's called an apening. That's a pun I guess we're going to carry out for the rest of the BGMS. But a perfect play coming in from them, systematic dismantle, which you normally call, and also the bounty being claimed from Team Tamilas. And this is what I was talking about. And OG, this team definitely needs it because they're all the way down to 13th spot. Previous game was not that good. So you really want to rack up as many points as possible today.
I mean, look at the difference, right? Stage 3 and you've only got 7 teams. Less than half. And that too, 8-bit is down to just 1-man squad. OG, they're down to a 3-man squad. Global Esports with 1 and God's Reign with 2. So, yeah, now it's going to be a bit of a dead phase, right? The slot zone, as Ocean Sharma likes to call.
Or you may just see the last few teams also duke out against each other in a pretty close manner.
I mean, that'll be fun.
Yeah, that is true. Mac is not joining in the fight whatsoever, though. That's one thing confirmed. You know, you can combine 3 different squads to just make one 4-man squad out here. God's Reign, Global Esports, 8-bit. Global God's Bit. Sorry.
Mogo. Revenue Esports on the opposite side. As I mentioned, now it's going to be the slot zones, man. Nothing's going to happen. It's just time to eye each other out, know each other's position, and just wait for the game to play its game. It's the guessing game where the zone's going to shift towards. And if it does take a curveball shift, if it's going to be a major drastic shift, then maybe things can be better. But Raven Esports is still up and alive with all the 4 players, and as long as that team is there in the game, there's the bounty to be claimed. That's the first thing, but Raven Esports, we know what they're capable of, man. They can dish a lot of damage to the lobby. Unfortunately, Aru's out in the open in the water lines. That's going to be a free elimination point for Mogo to claim because so far they've got 0.
I mean, what is Aru doing there? That's the question that I have. Now, the constant cover fire is being provided by his team, but again, the numbers are in favor of Mogo. So you can not reposition as much as you would really want to. When you're on those lines or on those areas, it's Robin, Delta, Justin. This entire team is absolutely mind-boggling, filled with the people who can outfrag. But then again, you've got to be worried about the members of Revenant on the other side, who will potentially try to gatekeep the members of Mogo. What is this nasty shift though? But hey, I called for it.
Yeah. Raven Esports now instantly they spring back to life. Revenant as well can have a decent bit of an edge to play this. The farms area is completely vacant. If teams want, they can move towards those buildings, take control, but if you do try to take that area, then only information that you will be getting is off the northern side. You will be completely ruled out from the south. So that's like the compensation that you will try to go for, the positives and the negatives of a position. And Revenue Esports, I mean, still for them, it's a constant threat, right? You cannot really rule out the players of Mogo Esports. They're there around the corner. You can't do anything about it because the players are not going for the peak as well. Instead, they're just playing it super safe. What can you do? All you can do is just wait for something to happen.
This fight is going to be important between Revenant as well as Mogo. It will probably determine who would eventually face out against the members of Raven. For OG, I do not really want to count them out as well, but losing on to Wiz is a big, big problem. One good thing is that they were able to save Aru back when he was having a swimming session. It's gonna
Revenant.
Yeah, crucial.
I mean, just look at the game. What happened? A while ago, it was a big firing party. And now, it's like nothing's going on the screen. Teams have just settled down, relaxing. Hulk has got his hands on the M416 and the airdrop weapon P90. So yeah, I mean, finally we're seeing something out of the box, right? Something new.
Exactly.
The first time. And I literally meant when I said out of the box, because airdrop is a box.
Oh my god, bro. Just like how that Philips one blade pop out of that box back when we see the chicken dinner screen.
Yeah. Gotcha. It's supposed to be a chicken dinner, though.
Yes.
But OG, still with a 3-man squad. Looking strong. 6 finishes so far. OG managing to acquire 7 points in total. That's going to grant them 103. Now, isn't that mind-boggling to think that One Blade actually has more points than OG? Because One Blade's performance wasn't looking too hot in the overall standings, but all it took was that one single bounty hunt, and they instantly propelled themselves so higher in the overall rankings. If OG do something similar, take down Raven Esports maybe, considering they're around them, then it can be really good. Raven Esports is a team that is sort of blocking the way for OG. If OG want to have a flawless rotation inside of the zone, they would need to go for a fight against Raven, unless if they move up north towards that farms area.
Yes. A big point, as you've already mentioned, and at this slate, I don't really feel you'd really want to go in for that, unless you've got a good amount of information as to the number of teams that are remaining. Because I think so you should have an idea by watching the elimination feed. Mac finally has been taken down by AimGod. So you know where Raven is playing now. Oh my god!
Okay.
Sensei, what a 3-pointer!
Yeah, 2-piece instantly, gets one confirmation, gets the second knock. Robin hits the floor. Mogo Esports, patience this time not paying off, considering they're facing off against the methodical and the tactical gods themselves, Revenant. And now Revenant with the advantage inside of the fight. It's 4-on-3. The Fallen Man will be back up on his feet for Mogo Esports. So yes, it will be a 3-man squad against the 4-man of Revenant. But set for the 2-piece. Revenant Esports at least have something to look up to, but Mogo Esports, they haven't got a single finish point so far, but one placement point. Mogo in the top 5 of this game, maybe looking to secure yet another chicken dinner. That can definitely happen. But what am I watching, dude? Mogo's 3-man squad still pinned towards that spot outside of the zone. That's a big concern. Now they would need a face-off against Revenant, but if they do decide to do so, then it will be OG from the back third-partying.
Exactly.
So many possible scenarios can happen here.
That's what I was about to point out as well. Had we seen another knock with a nade or anything of that sort, OG would have pounced on them right away. And now since the smokes are going off for OG, you know, they'd potentially try to look for the way of rotating and trying to take the fight against the members of Mogo themselves. You do not want to face 4 men of Raven, but wait a second, Sensei finding another opening onto Robin. He's way out in the open as well, and he gets the confirmation too.
He indeed does. I mean, specifically looking at the zone too, considering it moves away now. Mogo Esports, something needs to be done. It's a panic scenario. Outside of the circle, this time it's going to do a lot of damage. Mogo Esports, there's also going to be some bullets ripping through their armor. What can they do? They cannot waste a lot of time. OG, they finally made it inside of the zone, so I guess that's a big sigh of relief for the boys, right? Aru's the only man in the outskirts. He's the IGL. Looking to tank a bit more, play for the information, maybe catch a few teams if they do try to cross on forward towards the safety lines. But Aru, his teammates are the one with the vehicle. Aru is on his feet, and he takes that gamble. He gets strike down by the players. It's complete fine, but he's still knocked out. Is he retrievable, though? That's the question. The answer is going to be no, I guess.
Oh, big nade by Flock.
Another
Catches
one.
on AK.
Ooh!
Close.
Yeah. Sails in the outskirts. The players are in the inside. Baron's trying to get the revival onto AKOP. It will be possible. Not that big of a deal. Revenant Esports, 3 of the players slowly and steadily moving towards that jack area as Raven Aim God's able to shut down Aru in return.
There should be a Raven chicken in this situation unless we see God's Rain from the back over north do some shenanigans. Because Raven, again, they've got the full control of the circle. They've got some good compounds to work around with, or the only compounds to work around with. And everyone's just watching at different angles. They cleared out Mac a while back, so they know no one's coming in from their backs. Or you could say the western part of the circle. Up north is where you already know that there's God's Rain. And out there down south and in the eastern part is where this entire fight is happening.
Oh, Revenant Esports thriving with that map control. But still, they do not have the zone control yet. They need to move inside the safety line. Zed finally loses his patience, and now he pushes up close and personal. There is AKOP in the inside. He's still taking a bit of damage upon himself, and Revenant Esports. What just happened? The push, it collapsed. And OG, still a chance to come back from this entire fight. AK, he cannot withstand the amount of damage the zone's dissing out, but it's done for Revenant. They can't fight back anymore. The game's spoiled already.
It was again the full-fledged support coming in from the members of Raven, who basically knocked out a player or so for Revenant. Justin will also fall to the circle, and now it's all the way down. Just a three-way tie, but it should be a Raven chicken whatsoever. Without any problems, it's God's Reign up north, and the circle has moved down south.
Yeah, Raven Esports 3 finishes. They will get additional 10 points here and there, maybe a few more eliminations. So Raven, I'm pretty sure they did not go for any bounty hunt or any power play hunt.
Nope.
So they're not going to have a lot of points, but still something to keep them consistent in the overall standings, keep them close in that top 4. And when it matters the most, that's when they will try to deliver that breach. But for now, God's Reign with the 2-man squad, they've still surprised us, staying alive till this late game.
They've been having that entire area cleared out perfectly, and it's just, again, scavenging some decent positionings, working around with it, moving in. Sensei as well, he's going to dodge the blue for a while, but for how long is going to be the big question. Just a bit more north, and he's going to be in the crosshair of Hulk, and that's the exact person who's constantly going on that fire as well. They've kept God's Reign on bay, and as I mentioned, they had the only few good compounds in the zone itself. They had a good positioning, and they spread their players out perfectly. No overpeaking, just playing with the information and catching the players when they were off guard. Long smokes being tossed to deny the vision to the members of Raven, as Fury will now drive his vehicle into one of them and will move forward along with all two to try and take some space away from the members of Raven. This could go either very good or disastrously wrong for God's Reign.
God's Reign. 2 players still there. I mean, the final 2 players sort of being a thorn in the way of Raven Esports, and I don't think so they are going to be that big of a thorn, but the utils are being tossed to perfection. Hulk instantly backs away because he sees that nade being tossed towards him. Altu, the floor's lava, the man will be eventually taken down, and that's it. Raven Esports, they do deliver that final blow, and they get that chicken dinner. But the main highlight for that previous game was indeed from which the 3 finishes were converted from a pistol.
Absolutely mind-blowing stuff which you mentioned, because that was his highlight play. I really want to see Suren have the interview with Neo, but I know that's not going to be the case.
Maybe the standout player, Neo, can't be there. That can definitely happen. Before now, let's toss to a short interview with the winners of the previous game.
उस तरफ, where are they? Where are they? There. सारे कैमरा देख रहा हूँ मैं. Anyway, boys, congratulations. मिल गया एक chicken dinner, and of course I will do the translation bit also in case anybody else speaks in a different language. Are you looking for chicken dinners, honestly speaking? Because we have spoken to a lot of teams, and for them, finish points are important. Finishes are important. They want to just climb on the leaderboard.
We got a bounty points. We are a bounty team, so I played for only chicken dinner. We got chicken dinner. Yeah.
You know, last week as well, it's almost like we are in a deja vu kind of a situation, because you guys had a bounty on you, and in that situation, under pressure, you delivered and picked up a chicken dinner. Do you enjoy these kind of situations when the pressure is just so much?
We thought we will be targeted by some other teams, so we played as a passive team, so we got a dinner.
Listen, what do you have to say about Aim God, who is literally spitting fire? Because yesterday, listen, yesterday when he was there with us for that standout player interview, and we asked him, what's with the name Aim God? Man, it was a mic drop moment for us. He's like, hey man, 8 finishes. What else do you name me?
He always does this, bro. He's Jod, he's Aim God. He has aim, perfect aim, so he's Aim God. He always takes free kills everywhere, anywhere. You'll be looking for kills. His motto is kills.
Usually, I don't ask this question. Is there any team amongst the 20 that you just love going up against? I mean, you have a point to prove.
Of course, TT. We love TT, so we go and push them.
Team Tamilas. What did you say?
Autogar.
Right, listen. That's for another day. But ladies and gentlemen, Raven picking up another chicken dinner. आज का आखिरी मैच. Time for a little break. वापस लौटेंगे थोड़ी देर में.
चार लोग बात करें, ऐसे ट्रॉफी जीतेंगे. मेहनत पुरानी है, नाम अब कमाएंगे. हिस्ट्री अब लिखेंगे.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Wow. Circle to search. Only on Android.
Another day, another road, and we go. Arrive with a win, moving up, we know where to begin. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Arrive we go. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Another day, another road, and we go.
Share it, share it, share it, share it, share it, share it, share it.
What's the worst that could happen? What's the best that could happen?
Philips One Blade. Move fearlessly. Innovation and you. Philips.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Time to test the waters. Tell me how you wanna lead. Now you hear me roll like raw in my beastly mode. Now, wow. Wicked unleashed. That's wicked. All the cuts and the curves. So wicked. Take what you deserve. It's wicked.
TVS Raider. Unleash your wicked. Wash with charcoal and vitamin C. Deeply cleanses dirt and pollution for instantly bright skin. Face wash in India. Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash by Garnier Men.
Rain ended that interview with quite a suspense, right? But still, some miraculous moments happened in that previous game. And I guess Neo got his game face on with our Garnier Men's face wash, and that's why it was looking so good. It washed out the entire Team Z.
Crispy clean that you always talk about. Absolutely picture perfect. And that was one of the most beautiful clutches that I've ever seen.
Hands down. But for now, let's move on and look at the MVP of the previous game. We know it should be Neo, but probably it's going to be someone else. It will be AimGod once again with 83% finish contribution. Nicely done. AimGod, as usual, for his team, has always been the main playing factor, and once again, he pops up just the way his name is.
And as you talked about it, he was the standout player of yesterday as well, having amazing finishes, this time around as well, working really well. And this is the situation where AimGod and entirety of Raven did not find a lot of those fights, right? Even towards the last circles, we saw they only had a couple of finishes, then just had to rack up everything that was available. And that's why he's also the finisher as well. He was able to get that last pick on the last man remaining for God's Reign.
Hey, speaking of OG and Revenue Esports, though, these two teams are playing it so tactical and methodical. Still, things did not work out well for them, right? For Revenue Esports especially, they showcased so many patience. The same thing can be said for Mogo Esports too. They had 0 points, maybe a few placement points here and there, but then after that, Mogo Esports wasn't able to achieve a lot. Match rankings on the screen, 23 points from OG. They were not able to deliver the chicken dinner, but Raven Esports, they got the chicken dinner with only 17 points. OG, I guess all thanks to the bounty and stuff like that.
The main point that happened for OG was the fight with Team Tamilas, as you mentioned. That was the most important factor that was in the consideration, because them winning that entire engagement was the only thing that has helped them move so up in this entirety of the fight. After a long time, a game where we are seeing almost every single team having some points on the board, including Soul, Entity, 8-Bit, Mogo as well. They've at least got 5 points on the board as well, right? So yeah, we're not seeing any zeros coming in, but this also clearly shows that those average 10 to 15 points are becoming way too common for the entirety of the first half of the leaderboard.
I mean, we also saw a few teams stepping in for the first time, and still they were not able to make a lot of that impact happen, right? For some of the teams, it was just one game to be played. One blade that started things off with a bang, man. Taking down a Bounty team, getting 18 points off the rip. WSP still struggling to find that momentum. Reckoning Esports having a bit of a rough day, but still in the game one, got decent bit of points. Not enough to keep them pinned down in that spot, but considering they already had a decent bit of cushion to work with, so they will still be there whatsoever. Move on forward towards the highlights of the previous game. Definitely the main highlight has to be this clutch from Neo with just a pistol taking down 3 players, then later on gets his hands on the M416 and the S12K, and the final man gets taken down with one single shotgun pump. Yes, I understand how you feel.
I mean, the feed was not live for both of us. We would not have been in the camera itself because we were just jumping around the entire studio. Yeah. I mean, we both were. That's how insane that entire clutch was. But again, coming back to the entirety of the game, after that one highlight play, we also saw Orangutan doing some amazing job clearing those angles, and then this fight against the members of Team Tamilas. It was crucial for their survival, and they managed to win that.
Yeah, I mean, Team Tamilas getting wiped out right there, but Team Tamilas was looking in red-hot form. They wiped out Vasista Esports in the past, a team that was looking so promising. And speaking of Vasista Esports, slowly and steadily, even their form, it seems like it's tipping down.
They've been losing a lot of those duels, important ones, where they were supposed to be the winning team, and it just seems that teams are getting comfortable around to what they like to play. And them also understanding as to how this entire format works. It's like every single team just wants to go aggressive right in the power play itself early on, and that's why Vasista is just not finding its own footing.
Yeah, I mean, talk about Carpedium too, man. This game was not that great. We had so many expectations from Carpedium. In that same group of Vasista, they were not able to perform. Even Team Forever struggling. Aiku Soul too. Where were they? Lost.
I mean, they took their engagement against the members of Team Forever, and it did seem that they would be the ones to win. They had an early opening too, but then eventually just kept on losing the members. If I'm not wrong, it was Mafia who got an important 2-piece against them, and then followed up by the constant trades. It was Team Forever to close things out. And these are the few things that we always talk about as to how Aiku Soul used to look so crisp, refined.
Yeah.
But now it just seems that they're kind of losing everything.
One more point I would like to mention is that CJ was playing so passive in the first week. They were playing so defensive. And now, as the Domination weeks arrive, they start to hunt down teams left, right, and center. I mean, they're directly going towards the drops of the opponent teams. I mean, at the first, they went towards Georgia Pool. At the second, they went down south towards Nowhere Pnoy. And today's standout player of the day, it's going to be Neo. Well-deserved.
I mean, get me the interview quickly. I want to listen to what he's going to talk to Suren with, because that clutch is going to be the highlight for the entire evening right now. One of the best things that we have seen, and I want to see how he talks about it.
I mean, every single move he made in that one single house was perfect. And the producer just mentioned the interview is going to be beginning in 15 seconds. You guys do not have to wait too long. So for now, let's move on to the interview itself right here.
Well, the boys have clearly done the job. लेकिन हमारे साथ कार्निवल गेमिंग के नियो हैं 9 फिनिशेस. यार एक तो ना ये गाड़ी जो है वो 9 पे आके अटक गई है. AKOP याद आते हैं, हंटर्स याद आते हैं. आज तुम्हारे भी 9 फिनिशेस थे. At some point during the day, गिनते हो कि कितने फिनिशेस हैं? शुड आई ब्रेक द रिकॉर्ड?
नहीं, ऐसे गिनता तो कौन ही है, आ गए तो आ गए, नहीं आएगा तो नहीं आए, क्या ही है।
अलग अलग रोल्स जो हैं वो आपने अपनाए हैं एंड यू हैव डन फिनोमिनली वेल। असॉल्टर, फ्रैगर, फ्रीमैन भी खेले हो। पर्सनली स्पीकिंग, किस रोल में तुम अपने आप को सबसे ज़्यादा इफेक्टिव समझते हो?
मतलब मैं तो ऐसे नॉर्मली ऐसा असॉल्टर ही खेलता हूँ और वही मेरा नेचुरल रोल है, तो वही खेलूँगा। अभी ऐसा फ्रीमैन भी खेल लेता हूँ और मतलब स्विच होते रहते हैं अब तो। मतलब सभी फ्लेक्सिबल प्लेयर हैं यहाँ पे मेरी टीम में, अब पहले का नहीं पता।
9 फिनिशेस निकाले हैं, लेकिन नियो, जब भी हम कार्निवल गेमिंग की बात करते हैं कुछ नाम हैं। ऑफ कोर्स गॉब्लिन का है, हाई प्रोफाइल प्लेयर। हाउ डू यू फील अबाउट बीइंग द अनसंग हीरो, जो वो सब कुछ करके निकालता है जिससे टीम जो है वो लीडर बोर्ड पे ऊपर पहुंचती है?
तो ऐसा हाई प्रोफाइल प्लेयर तो मतलब हाँ काफ़ी पॉपुलर है, बट अपने तो टीममेट ही है नॉर्मल, और हम तो एक दूसरे को पुश करते हैं कि अच्छा मैचेस जाए, अच्छे मैचेस जाए, ऐसे ही चलता रहता है, मतलब नॉर्मल ही है।
क्योंकि हम जानते हैं कि 16 टीम्स जो हैं वो प्लेऑफ्स में खेलेंगे और जो टॉप 4 टीम है जिन पे हर बार बाउंटी लगी रहती है वो जाएंगी सीधा फाइनल्स में। जब तुम लोगों की बातचीत चलती है बिफोर द स्टार्ट ऑफ द डे, फिलहाल कार्निवल गेमिंग के टारगेट्स क्या हैं?
फिलहाल तो अपना ही टारगेट है कि 4v4 के लिए जाओ और पॉइंट्स निकालो, मतलब गन फाइट्स के लिए जाओ, क्योंकि कोई टीम सीरियस तो खेल नहीं रही है, बंदे भी कम ही बच रहे हैं। तो जैसे लॉबी खेल रहे हैं वैसे हम खेल। हमने ट्राई करा था सीरियस खेलने का, बट कैजुअलिटी हो रही है तो फिर सबका ही दिमाग खराब हो रहा है। मैंने कहा छोड़ो, गन फाइट के लिए जाते हैं और क्या।
ऑलराइट, ऑडियंस का एक सवाल है, बड़ा सिंपल सा सवाल है, मेरे जैसे पेचीदा सवाल नहीं है। क्या कार्निवल गेमिंग इस बार का खिताब जो है वो टूर्नामेंट जो है वो जीत रही है?
बिल्कुल जीत रही है, पूरा कॉन्फिडेंस है सबको, मुझको भी, मेरी टीम को भी।
एक और ऑडियंस क्वेश्चन, नियो अपने प्राइम में कब दिखेगा?
देखो इसका तो मैं क्या ही जवाब दे सकता हूँ, बट हाँ जल्दी दिखेगा, क्योंकि मेरे को भी परफॉर्म करना है यार। मैं बहुत टाइम से नहीं कर रहा हूँ और अभी मेरे को लगता है कि अब जाके मेरे को कुछ रियल चांस मिला है।
प्राइम नियो जो सब लोग बात कर रहे हैं, फैंस जो देखना चाहते हैं, फिलहाल नियो अपने प्राइम वर्जन से कितना दूर है?
थोड़ा सा ही दूर है मेरे हिसाब से, थोड़ा सा, और थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा शायद, और 1 महीना, बट हो जाएगा। सब भरोसा तो है मेरे को।
भरोसे पे तो दुनिया कायम है बॉस। आज का स्टैंड आउट प्लेयर ऑफ द डे नियो फ्रॉम कार्निवल गेमिंग। बॉयज प्लीज, अब आपकी बारी।
Listen, man, all sorts of questions were asked, but one single question that we all wanted to ask. How are you feeling after doing that 1v4 against Team Z? Serain, you missed out on that question. No. We wanted to know his reaction. We wanted to know how he felt during that clutch, because just one single pistol, I'm pretty sure even Neo himself would not have seen this clutch coming through.
No one did. That's why his entire team was shouting like anything and keeping your nerves in such a high pressure situation when you've taken down 3 players, applying the bandages, realizing that the opponent is constantly trying to peek through different windows. So you've got to change the corners as well. So you keep playing in the blind spot. That was mind-blowing stuff from him. I want to see that again, and I want to talk to him. I wish you could hear me right now as he's walking past by us.
I mean, all the micro adjustments the man made in that fight, the perfect repositions too. It was perfect, man. I mean, you cannot change anything about that clutch. His teammates messed up massively, but then Neo's like, it's complete fine, guys. I've got a pistol in my hand, and I'm definitely going to try to clutch this. At first, no one believes that. No one sees this coming. But then Neo just comes out with the most miraculous clutch. But you've got the Phillips one-blade moments of the day, and in the moments, you can clearly see some of the nice moments. Jonathan with this beautiful nade, finding that knock. AimGod was definitely surprised. He never saw that coming.
You could talk about the fact how great that first game was as well for almost the entirety of Reckoning as well as Mogo, because Reckoning were trying to wipe out all the different players. Their fight against X-Park was absolutely sublime, which we mentioned. It was literally flawless, not losing the members. And then also following it up, Mogo confirmed their chicken dinner as well, a much needed one too in that situation, claiming the bounty of Reckoning. But that was all for game number 1. In the second one, we constantly saw those early fights, the early engagement, and this is the best clutch ever.
It just overshadowed the entire game. It overshadowed the team that won the chicken dinner. And look at the excitement. Look at Goblin. He's so happy. And Team Z, they're in a disbelief that they just got 1v4'd by Neo, from which 3 finishes were picked off with just a pistol. I know we are elaborating on that one single point too much, but you need to understand those are the type of moments that do not happen too often. And look at AKOP striking down 2 of the players of OG. I mean, he was the only man standing over there, and still somehow the man was keeping himself alive.
Yes.
His teammate was lost out, but he still was doing a lot of damage to the opponents.
And look at how disciplined Team Raven was playing in that entire situation. Even though you don't have a lot of finishes, you know how valuable they are. They still were like, you know what, boys, we've got the prime position. It's fine. Let everyone fight all around the vicinity. We'll just pick up the scraps that we'll see. And one of the main reasons why AKOP still was able to hold his guard in that compound was because of the cover fire that apparently Raven provided him.
Exactly. But you know what? Now for Team Z to recover from that mental setback, it's going to be really tough. Because momentum lost, that's one thing, but to be able to recover from such a big clutch where things are going to be talked all across the board, this is where, as a professional player, your mindset comes into play. How well you're able to reset the board, how well you're able to reset the mindset and move on forward to the other day, just like nothing happened the previous one, right? Because that's the only way you can sort of ignore the past and focus on the future. And that's what Team Z needs to do right now.
Yeah, they've got to turn into Zoro, nothing happened moment. Heads up for the One Piece fans out there. But again, as you mentioned, we have seen quite a few 1v4s in this one. If I'm not wrong, Aquanox was pulling off one time, and then it was Ronnie who pulled in that amazing 1v4 against Vashishta Esports. But in all of those scenarios, you had at least one of your teammates supporting you. Even if not supporting you, at least providing you the intel. Neo in this 1v4 had no one to give any kind of information.
Exactly.
He was in a compound that was open from multiple angles, and he had a pistol in his hand, and he was already low in HP without any major level 3 vests or helmets.
Now that's what you call a monstrous play. That's what you call a proper 1-on-4 clutch. I mean, call it whatever you want, however you want to glorify that play. But Neo, one thing is for sure, after this one single play, it's going to be talked all across the social media.
Yes.
But moving forward towards the conversation, TVS Raider is our mobility partner. It's not just all about the looks. There is a Smart Connect version with 99 connected feature, and guess what? It apparently comes with a 5-inch TFT screen. Isn't that super wicked?
It indeed is. And Blaze sitting on that, they're kind of matching that color as well, right?
Yeah.
Purple. Imagine if Neo was sitting on this one right now. This would have been like the perfect day for him. And again, what a way to say happy birthday to your opponent. I am going to still stress on that. But yes, at the end of the day, it is not the night this time. It seems like there's a new beginning for Carnival Gaming, because they mentioned how they were playing passively early on.
Exactly.
But today, they want to change things. They went aggressive.
Even I pointed out the same thing, right? Siege in the first week of the league stage, they were playing it way too passive. They were playing it seriously, and that's why they were taking the early casualty on themselves. And that's what exactly Neo mentioned. His teammates, they discussed among themselves that, yeah, things are not working out the way they're playing currently. Let's just focus on the elimination points instead, because if you do drop on a team that's got a bounty on top of their head, you will instantly claim 18 points, or if you drop on a team that does not have anything, you will still claim 8 points. So that's still a lot of points to keep yourself consistent in the overall board.
I mean, imagine if Neo was the impact player and it was a weekend happening, all of that stuff. It could have pulled a Ronnie onto the other side, but again, that in an even better situation. But I really want to have a look at the standings as well now to see where all of these teams stand. I don't think so we're going to see a humongous change in the leaderboard, apart from the fact maybe Global Esports might end up at 4th.
I mean, overall rankings, here we go. All the questions answered. Global Esports kicked out of the top 4 on the 5th. The top 4 is going to be in the front. Team Tamalas on the 4th, Raven Esports on 3rd, Godsreen on the 2nd, and Reckoning Esports still at the top with 183 points. It's just 13 points separating the 2nd and the 1st spot.
Yes, now the entire focus for all the teams from 11th spot to the 16th itself is going to be how to breach into the 3rd and 4th position, because 1st and 2nd are almost out of reach right now. I know I'm not going to say that it's a bit too early, because again, Reckoning will also constantly get those crucial points, which they have been showing. The consistency is there. 8 to 10 points, 5 to 8 points. That's something they always find. So it's going to be difficult for you to breach that entire gap now, since more teams are playing even aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, the first game for these teams was definitely quite good, right?
Yes.
And specifically focusing on Godlike themselves, they did not play too aggressive. They still went for a couple of fights up north, but then realized that, yeah, the circle is fully down south. They took their time to rotate, moved down south. Still somehow was quite a miraculous rotation. They found themselves in the top 2. So they did claim decent amount of points. And it is also a team that is currently on the latter half of the board. But just a snail pace approach isn't going to cut it, man. They need a big nuclear performance. And talk about the nukes. They're right in front of your screen. TVS Raider, most wicked players, and Aim God's going to be at the top with 34. Maxi OP is not that far behind with 33. Hunters with 31.
Absolutely. AK was down there with 30 as well, not too far away. But again, there are a couple of players from God's Reign already here. Ninja Boy himself on 27. Anonymous, Knuckle, Gravity Jord. Knuckle's position has been declining day after day. It just seems that the performance dip, when it started, it has not yet stopped. So it's going to be very difficult. But hey, there's some kind of announcement, Necro, which you would want to make.
I mean, yeah, in the first game, you guys saw Jonathan just standing completely still. There was a few connection issues maybe going on. I'm not sure what technical errors were on with Jonathan, but they have received 3 points as the compensation for that entire mishap that happened in the first game.
True. I feel it's pretty decent as well, because again, it was difficult position for them to be in, and I think the 3 points is pretty decent, because they even though went against the fight with the Team Z after that, and it was Mogo closing things out. So a pretty decent day, I would say, for Mogo as well, getting a chicken dinner, and Raven keeping their consistency.
Yeah, but not a good day for Raven Esports, right? A team that we had so many expectations from, still struggling to close out the day in a good note. The same thing can be said for Entity too. We had a lot of expectations from Entity as well. They were not able to perform that well. Mogo Esports' first game was a chicken dinner. The second game was a complete down moment. It was a dip in the big graph. But you move on towards Global Esports. Now they have been kicked out from that top 4. They're on the 5th spot. Tomorrow's day, Global Esports, they would need a hit back as soon as possible. Before now, it's time for us to take a leap. We'll see you guys tomorrow with some more exciting BGMI action.